Chapter 300. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. You came to our Scarlet Cloud sect just to say this? Then you've come to the wrong place. One of the elders stepped forward and said, "Whether I've come to the wrong place or not is not up to you two to decide." The black-clothed man's aura changed as he threw a punch at a stone mountain in the distance. F plus forever square root exempt from MFN. Look at little square root speak with a punch. The stone mountain shattered and debris flew everywhere. Do you think you can be so arrogant just because you're in the venerable realm? If I hear any more killing orders, I'll kill the two of you first and then raise your Scarlet Cloud sect to the ground. Try me if you're not convinced. The black-clothed man snorted coldly and then disappeared with a sway. The two white-haired elders looked at the raised stone mountain and did not speak for a long time. Then the taller elder sighed. Even if we join forces, we're still no match for him. The sect's spiritual weapon is not necessarily useful. It's impossible that he doesn't have a spiritual weapon. Martial uncle, why would such an expert care about a killing order? Did the sect defend someone we shouldn't have? The shorter elder asked. It should be. Tell the sect master to cancel the killing order. Some people can't be offended or it'll be a disaster. This matter might be related to Qinji Tower or Dongshan City. We know all the venerables of the other forces, but there's no such person. The taller elder shook his head helplessly. The Scarlet Cloud sect was very strong, but if they offended a colossus like Qinji Tower they would be destroyed. The shorter elder nodded. He couldn't take the black-clothed man's attack just now. After Night Sorrow finished celebrating, he left and set off for the Far East Icefield. During the day, Night Sorrow sat on Qianyu's back and meditated. At night he cultivated in the animal skin shack. When he was halfway there, Night Sorrow finished strengthening the dragon bone on his back and the ribs on both sides. He also successfully strengthened his bone marrow and entered the 7th level of the bone-forging realm. He advanced every day, but Night Sorrow's cultivation didn't fall behind at all. With the assistance of the Flood Dragon bone-forging pill and the Origin spiritual liquid, his cultivation increased very quickly. Although it wasn't as fast as the last time when he and Yang Lei used their dual mounts, Night Sorrow's speed wasn't slow either. Qianyu's cultivation had improved a lot since that time. When Qianyu returned from the void fiendish space, he had entered the 3rd rank, 9th rank. His speed had far surpassed other flying demonic beasts. After 1.5 months, Night Sorrow arrived at the Eastern Icefield. Looking at the unfamiliar yet somewhat familiar Eastern Icefield, Night Sorrow had Qianyu continue flying. Love Gong Little Sake 3 days later, Night Sorrow arrived at the Eastern Snow Mountain. Looking at the sky, Night Sorrow didn't continue climbing. Instead he set up a shack and stayed there. He planned to continue climbing the mountain the next day. After feeding Qianyu a beast origin pill, Night Sorrow opened a jar of wine to drink. Suddenly a figure appeared. It was Wu Lingfei wearing a pure white dress and a white veil. She held a white longsword in her hand. "Senior." Night Sorrow stood up and cupped his hands in greeting. "Your cultivation has increased very quickly. But what are you doing here? If this place had a Heaven's Mandate stone, I wouldn't have needed you to search for it," said Wu Lingfei coldly as she looked at Night Sorrow. "Junior has come to fulfill the promise. Does Senior's promise still count?" Yishang asked. "You came as promised? You mean to say that you have the Heaven's Mandate stone?" Wu Lingfei's voice unconsciously rose a lot. "Yes, it's in this box. But I want to know if Senior's promise still counts?" Night Sorrow took out the jade box and looked at the white-clothed woman. "The spirit tool is naturally yours," said Wu Lingfei as she looked at the box in Night Sorrow's hand. "Not this. I'm talking about borrowing it for free," said Night Sorrow. "Of course, I'm a woman of my word. If I say I'm borrowing it for free, then I'm borrowing it for free." Wu Lingfei nodded. "How long?" asked Night Sorrow again. 3 months at the shortest and half a year at the longest," said Wu Lingfei after thinking for a moment. "Okay." Night Sorrow stepped forward and handed the jade box to Wu Lingfei. After Wu Lingfei opened the jade box, her eyes were attracted to the Heaven's Mandate stone. After a while she closed the box. "You're a woman of your word and so am I. Do you plan to go back now and come back later?" asked Wu Lingfei after closing the jade box. She looked at Night Sorrow and asked, "I'm not going back. I'll wait here for Senior to finish using it." Night Sorrow said. He had already made this decision. After all, going back and forth would take too long and he couldn't afford it. "Then go to my Chenren Peak. I'll go into seclusion and you can cultivate there. Although it's cold there, with your body's strength, you should be able to withstand it. You can treat it as a trial," said Wu Lingfei. Night Sorrow nodded. He thought that was fine. After Night Sorrow nodded, Wu Lingfei waved her sleeve. Energy appeared and wrapped around Night Sorrow and Tianyu. Then Night Sorrow felt dizzy and the scenery in the night changed. After a while, the energy around Night Sorrow dissipated and Tianyu could move. Under the cover of the night, Yishang observed his surroundings. They were at the bottom of a mountain. Behind Night Sorrow and Wu Lingfei was a cliff, which was also the peak of the mountain. They were at a platform below the peak. There's a cave there. You can rest and cultivate there. If there's nothing important, don't disturb me. After Wu Lingfei finished speaking, she waved her arm and a jade box appeared. She sat cross-legged on it and opened the jade box, holding the water element heaven's mandate stone in her hand. As Wu Lingfei cultivated, an extremely cold energy appeared on her body, and she instantly froze herself. Strong. Night Sorrow couldn't help but admire Wu Lingfei's strength. She directly condensed her energy into ice and froze herself. How heaven-defying was that? Night Sorrow had Tianyu rest while he entered the cave. The cave was very tidy. It seemed this was where Wu Lingfei lived. Thinking about it, Night Sorrow felt it wasn't suitable, so he went to the cave and began to meditate. Night Sorrow felt this place was pretty good. The extremely cold energy was very strong, and he could use this pressure to temper his true qi and the myriad Dao Tome's energy. Currently, Night Sorrow's myriad Dao Tome had reached the 7th level of the bone-forging realm. He had begun to strengthen his shoulder bones, collarbone, and bone marrow. Once he finished strengthening them, he could enter the 8th level of the bone-forging realm. The 8th level of the bone-forging realm strengthened his neck and bone marrow. Once he succeeded, he would enter the 9th level of the bone-forging realm. Once his skull and bone marrow were strengthened, he would enter the 4th stage of the myriad Dao Tome, the unity realm. Cultivating in the biting cold wind was a kind of torture for Night Sorrow, but the true qi and energy he cultivated was very pure. In terms of perseverance, Night Sorrow had it. When he was thirsty, he would drink a few mouthfuls of wine. When his body needed nourishment, he would eat fasting pills and continue to cultivate. Night Sorrow diligently cultivated, and his cultivation base quickly rose. After all, he was using the Source Spirit Elixir and the Flood Dragon Bone Forging Pill. Time passed quickly, and in the blink of an eye, over a month had passed. Other than feeding Tianyu Beast Essence pills, Night Sorrow didn't get up to come over. Tianyu was already used to this place. He would often go out to hunt demon beast. The eastern snow mountain had ice flood dragons, and the ice flood dragon's gallbladder was a great supplement for them. Chapter 301. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? Here's a wonderful novel for you to read. After looking at the origin stone for a while, Wu Lingfei turned to Night Sorrow and said, I need to go into seclusion again. The mysteries of this origin stone are truly difficult to comprehend. Love go little say Webku, don't worry. Night Sorrow nodded. You know how to use the power of extreme cold to temper your cultivation. Not bad. Wu Lingfei took out a jar of wine and took a sip from her veil. Later. I plan to go to the Ice Plain Sea to look for Ice Spirit Blood Essence, Night Sorrow said. That's good. Ice Spirit Blood Essence contains a very strong blood essence. You might not be able to absorb it right now. Wait until your body is a bit stronger, then you'll be able to use it, Wu Lingfei said. Then I'll go later. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood that the Ice Spirit Blood Essence was very useful. Oh dollar, if you can bring me a few more pieces. Wu Lingfei turned around and took another sip of wine before speaking. Sure. I don't understand one thing. Senior also cultivates a special cultivation method. Your body is very strong, so your blood essence should also be very strong. Can you get more Ice Spirit Blood Essence if you go to the Ice Plain Sea? Night Sorrow asked. No, I have the ice attribute of the water attribute. My body is strong, but my blood essence is not enough, so I can't draw out the Ice Spirit Blood Essence. Wu Lingfei shook her head. Night Sorrow knew that attributes were very important. He also planned to study his own attributes. During this period of time in the extreme cold, it was not suitable for him to activate his attributes, so he didn't touch this area. What is your attribute? While Night Sorrow was thinking, Wu Lingfei asked. This was a very important aspect for cultivators. If one's attribute was strong, then one's combat power would be strong. I don't know. I came here as soon as I reached rank 4. The extreme cold is not suitable for activating my attributes, so I plan to wait, Night Sorrow said. Don't worry, it won't take long. Enter the cave and I'll help you activate it. Wu Lingfei was very interested in Night Sorrow's attributes. Night Sorrow followed Wu Lingfei into the cave. After entering the cave, Wu Lingfei waved her hand and sealed the entrance with ice. Wu Lingfei stood at the entrance of the cave and said, "The extreme cold here is still very strong, but it won't suppress the other elements. Focus and feel the elemental powers in the air. Absorb whatever you think you can absorb and then punch me with all your strength." Baidu search AI go female xianxia say www.ichuxs.com. Night Sorrow nodded and began to meditate to sense the elements in the space. As he focused his mind, Night Sorrow realized that he was surrounded by white dots of light. These white dots of light were mixed with small amounts of yellow, blue, green, red, light purple, milky white, light black, green, dark black, gray and dark gray dots of light. Carefully sensing, Night Sorrow also discovered a type of dark purple bubble and a type of trembling stripe. These two types were hidden in these spots of light. Night Sorrow understood that these spots of light were elemental powers. The first 7 were the ordinary earth, water, wind, fire, lightning, light and darkness. Then there was the green life, the dark black death, the gray space, the light gray time, and the faint purple gas and trembling stripe. He wasn't sure, but he suspected that they were void and destruction. Sensing this, Night Sorrow opened his mind and body to absorb. As Night Sorrow absorbed, these spots of light didn't move. Only the dark purple gas entered Night Sorrow's body. Standing up, Night Sorrow punched at Wu Lingfei. It was just an ordinary punch, a punch of the rank 4 cultivation. With a muffled sound, Night Sorrow retreated a few steps. Wu Lingfei didn't move, but her eyes were full of shock. What a tribute! Night Sorrow felt that his chi had changed, but Night Sorrow couldn't tell what it was. "Continue absorbing elemental powers and punch again," Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and sat down cross-legged, continuing to absorb the attribute of the dark purple bubble. After a while he stood up and punched at Wu Lingfei again. After another collision, Night Sorrow was forced back. Void attribute. It really is the void attribute. Night Sorrow, you're very lucky to be able to comprehend a peak attribute like this. The most fortunate thing is that you met me today. If it were someone from another realm, you'd be dead by now, Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow's expression changed. He knew what the void attribute meant. It was one of the peak attributes. "That won't do. If we fight, you'll be exposed," Wu Lingfei said with a frown. "I can use profound jade spirit chi." Night Sorrow waved his hand and sent out a palm filled with cold chi. "This is a way to hide your own attribute. I didn't think of that. Your profound jade hands is quite good." Wu Lingfei nodded after seeing Night Sorrow's palm. Night Sorrow nodded. In order to cultivate the profound jade hands, he had suffered a lot. Remember, as long as you use the void attribute in a fight, you must kill your opponent. Otherwise, it'll be troublesome. Wu Lingfei reminded Night Sorrow. "I don't see how strong the void attribute is." Night Sorrow still had some doubts. "Then let me ask you. Did you get attacked by the cold chi just now? You didn't, right? In addition, your fist of the first rank of the 4th step has melted twice as much of my Jin chi as yours. Think about the pros and cons of this." Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and said. She knew that Night Sorrow had just comprehended the attribute and didn't know the power of a peak attribute. "Then I'll take my time to study it." Night Sorrow nodded, feeling very happy. "Then I'll continue my seclusion. I estimate it'll take another 2 or 3 months. It won't delay your return," Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. She waved her hand and broke the ice at the entrance of the cave. Then she took out an origin stone and continued to cultivate. Night Sorrow sat down at the entrance of the cave and continued to cultivate. As he cultivated, he began to absorb the void attribute. As he circulated his true energy to cultivate, Night Sorrow noticed something shocking. The heavenly fate pearl in his Dantian region was moving. It was spinning, and was emitting a power that was far, far purer than the power he had absorbed on his own. After a while, Night Sorrow's chi was filled with the void attribute. Even so, the void fate pearl was still rotating and pouring attributes into Night Sorrow's Dantian. Night Sorrow tried to pour his chi into the void fate pearl. After pouring it in, Night Sorrow's chi was absorbed by the void fate pearl. However, there was no reaction. Seeing that the void fate pearl was absorbing his chi, but there was no reaction, Night Sorrow continued to pour his chi into the void fate pearl. Night Sorrow used his origin spiritual liquid to recover his chi. Then he continued to pour his chi into the void fate pearl. As long as the void fate pearl could absorb it, he would continue to pour it in. After 7 days, Night Sorrow stopped using the origin spiritual liquid and began to recover his chi. He knew that he had been using the origin spiritual liquid for a long time. His chi was weak and there was no point in assimilating it. After recovering his cultivation base, Yi Shang continued to channel his true chi into the heavenly fate pearl. Chapter 302. Genius 1 second remember love go/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Knight Sorrow had originally planned to go down East Snow Mountain and search for ice spirit blood essence in the Ice Plains Sea. But now he no longer had such thoughts. He wanted to fight to the death with the Void Fate Pearl. As long as it did not affect his cultivation, there was nothing to worry about. This time, Knight Sorrow did not calculate the time. He poured his true chi into the Void Fate Pearl. Once his true chi was exhausted, he would sit down and recover before pouring more true chi. Time passed very quickly. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. Knight Sorrow did not stand up once. When Xianhu returned, Knight Sorrow threw a beast pill to Xianhu and continued to fight with the Void Fate Pearl. When Yishang was about to run out of true energy again, the voidless fate bead stopped absorbing true energy. Instead, it began to spin around Yishang's dantian. At the same time, Yishang felt a special connection between him and the voidless fate bead. It was an inexplicable connection. Looking at the frozen Wu Lingfei, Knight Sorrow began to cultivate on the platform. He cultivated his spear arts, fist arts, and movement arts. After cultivating for a while, Knight Sorrow discovered that his true chi had a color. It was a very beautiful purple. The color was a little dazzling. Knight Sorrow circulated the profound jade spirit chi in his hands to cover up the void attribute. After cultivating for a day, seeing Xianhu return, Knight Sorrow wanted to move. Knight Sorrow rode Xianhu and flew towards the Ice Plains Sea. He planned to cultivate while moving and collect some ice spirit blood essence. After arriving at the Ice Plains Sea, Knight Sorrow got off Xianhu's back. He circulated the myriad Dao Tome's energy and began to run across the Ice Plains Sea while cultivating. As he ran, Knight Sorrow pondered. Since he had comprehended the attributes, he could study the protective chi. Currently, he had the energy of the myriad Daos Tome to protect his body. However, it was still good to have an additional layer of protective chi. While running, Knight Sorrow's Dantian's Jin Chi burst out and formed a protective Jin Chi shield around his body. Without the Jin Chi in his hands, his protective Jin Chi was light purple. Next, Knight Sorrow used his profound jade spirit energy to change the protective Jin Chi into a white ice-attributed Jin Chi. Knight Sorrow tried to switch back and forth to train. The Chi shield could increase one's defense. It was very important for a cultivator as it could block the damage from the harsh environment. After advancing for a day, Knight Sorrow collected a piece of ice spirit blood essence. He did not stop and continued to run across the icy sea. Xianhu followed right above his head. _forever TQ long time free Wi-Fi #C small say. X after running for 10 days, Knight Sorrow took a detour. After being hundreds of miles away from the original path, he continued to run back. 20 days later he returned to the East Snow Mountain. Not only did he collect 13 pieces of ice spirit blood essence, but he also cultivated his Jin Chi to the peak of the spirit severing stage. The progress of the myriad Daos Tome was also very fast. At the foot of the East Snow Mountain, Knight Sorrow rode Xianhu back to the Qianren Peak. At the same place, Knight Sorrow saw Wu Lingfei breaking out of the ice. "I thought you didn't want the origin stone and ran away." Wu Lingfei put the origin stone into a jade box and handed it to Knight Sorrow. "Have you comprehended the mystery?" Knight Sorrow took back the water attribute origin stone and asked. He had noticed that Wu Lingfei was holding the origin stone. It was not damaged and the energy was very rich just like before. "How can it be that easy? I just comprehended it. I will slowly understand it in the future." Now let's talk about the spirit tools. I killed some venerables in the early years and collected some spirit tools. "What kind of spirit tools do you need?" Wu Lingfei asked. "I only know spear arts and I won't change, so I only use spear arts." Knight Sorrow said. He would not give up on spear arts cultivation. Baidu search AI Go Xiao Shua www.achux.com. "I don't have a spirit tool spear, so I'll give you a defensive spirit tool. However, you can't use its power at the moment. Give me your hand and I will help you refine it." Wu Lingfei said to Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow stretched out his hand. Wu Lingfei waved her left hand and energy streaked across the back of Knight Sorrow's hand, taking away a stream of blood. A white vest appeared on her right hand. Wu Lingfei poured Knight Sorrow's blood into the vest. Then, energy appeared on her hands and covered the vest. After half a cup of tea's time, Knight Sorrow had a special feeling in his heart. He felt that the vest had a connection with him. You should be able to feel it. From now on, wear it close to your body. Although you are weak, this ice silk soft garment can help you block an all-out attack from an opponent one level higher than you. If you enter the 5th level, then even a venerable won't be able to heavily injure you in one move. I originally wanted to give you a low-grade spirit weapon, but I don't have any spears, so I can only let you have it. Wu Lingfei handed the ice silk soft garment to Yishang. Thank you, senior. Yishan took the soft ice silk clothing, put it away and bowed. You've helped me twice. A long time ago I was injured and my chi and blood were unable to recover. I knew that the ice plain sea had ice spirit blood essence, but I couldn't get it. There were no ice spirit wells near the ice snow mountain, so I could only rely on the East Snow Mountain's extreme cold to nourish my body. You came and helped me solve this problem. Also, you brought the source stone. You'll know its use later, Wu Lingfei said. Senior, you are the top fighting force of the Eastern Shen region. If there is a region war, you will have to contribute. As someone from the Eastern Shen region, I will naturally contribute to the Eastern Shen region. Even if I don't have a spirit weapon, I will still fulfill my promise, said Yishang. I can understand your intentions. I won't stay in the East Snow Mountain for long in the future. If you have any problems in the Eastern Shen region, just crush the spirit pearl and I will rush over as soon as possible. Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Junior understands. As for the origin stone, it's not that I'm stingy, but that I have other uses. Here is another type of origin stone. If Senior needs it, I can lend it to you for a few years. Night Sorrow took out the fire origin stone. After taking the fire origin stone and looking at it, Wu Lingfei put it back into the jade box and returned it to Night Sorrow. This is not compatible with my attribute. Studying it will increase my fighting strength, but it's better to focus on comprehending the law of water. Remember, a man's wealth is his own ruin. These are all life-threatening things. Senior, do you still need the ice spirit blood essence? Night Sorrow asked. You have extra? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I went to look for it a few days ago and got some. Night Sorrow took out 6 or 7 pieces and put them in front of him. You are really amazing. I can't help but admire you. I reckon that you will need this to help you cultivate soon. I'll take 2 pieces. It's easy for you to find them, but it's harder for me to find them. A naturally erupting ice spirit well is no different from looking for a needle in a haystack. Wu Lingfei said with a sigh after taking the 2 pieces. I'll look for some more on my way out. Senior, please keep them. Night Sorrow bent down and picked up the ice spirit blood essence and handed it to Wu Lingfei. Chapter 303. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Tianji Tower? Senior is from Tianji Tower? Night Sorrow was shocked. He didn't expect Tianji Tower to be so strong. Even the unfathomable Wu Lingfei was related to Tianji Tower. Is there a problem? Wu Lingfei frowned at Night Sorrow. Clearly his words had touched her. No problem, Junior also knows a few people from Tianji Tower. Night Sorrow said. Yes, of course. You're so outstanding. If they couldn't find you, then they must be blind. Alright, I'll take you down East Snow Mountain, then you can go back early. Wu Lingfei waved her arm and wrapped Night Sorrow and Tianyu, then flew down East Snow Mountain. Tianyu needed to fly for a while, but with Wu Lingfei's help, it only took a few breaths. Most of the chapters in Chapter 5 section above 3. After reaching the foot of East Snow Mountain, Wu Lingfei released the energy control and released Night Sorrow and Tianyu. This is my token. Take it, it might be useful. Go back early. Tossing a token to Yishan, Wu Lingfei's figure flashed as she disappeared into the vast expanse of white ice. Seeing Wu Lingfei leave, Night Sorrow took out the ice silk soft clothes from his storage ring and looked at it carefully. The ice silkworm soft garment was a close-fitting soft garment in the shape of a small vest. Touching the soft garment, Yishang felt as if it was connected to his flesh and blood. Yishang knew that this was because it had recognized him as its master. Normally, Night Sorrow couldn't recognize a spirit tool as its master with his 4th stage cultivation. It was Wu Lingfei who used her high cultivation to force the ice silk soft clothes to recognize him as its master. After putting on the ice silk soft clothes, Night Sorrow looked at Wu Lingfei's token. It was a white jade pendant with the word Wu engraved on it. After putting away the token, Night Sorrow began to run forward. Although he had accumulated some ice spirit blood essence, it would be better if he could get some when he went out. In the headquarters of Dongshin City's Tianji Tower, Yin Shuer and Ho Yuan were drinking tea. The 2 old fogies from the Scarlet Cloud sect should be scared now. If they don't withdraw the kill order, I'll go there again, Ho Yuan said as he sipped his tea. It's not up to them not to be afraid. If they dare to not be afraid, then we'll teach them a lesson until they're afraid. Yin Shuer said with a smile. While the 2 of them were talking, Lei Hua came in followed by Jiao Qing. Lei Hua threw a letter on the table. You 2 take a look. If there's no problem, we'll report it. Yin Shuer picked up the letter and read it before passing it to Ho Yuan. What is this guy doing? Why is he so troublesome? Hou Yuan said after reading the letter. When Supervisor Lan left, she said that if Night Sorrow enters the 4th stage within 2 years, we'll report it. Since Night Sorrow has broken through, we'll report it, Yin said. Night Sorrow's matter was the responsibility of the Tianji Tower's Law Protector team. It was his subordinate's matter, so he was very happy about it. Then we have nothing to study. We'll report it directly, haha. If he passes the inspection, he'll be a 4-star in the heaven rank trial, Lei Hua said happily. Looks like we'll have to supervise Hou Jian and Nan Liyue. They've been left behind, Hou Yuan said. It's not that Hou Jian and Nan Liyue are inferior. Night Sorrow's rise is too fast and too dazzling. In addition, Lei Bao and Lei Zheng from the Thunder Rumbling sect have entered the 4th stage, Su Wang from the Golden Flame sect has entered the 4th stage, and Hou Yuan's junior, Hou Qingjie. All of them can enter the Black Watch. The problem is whether they have the qualifications to start the heaven rank trial, Lei Hua said as he sat down. Su Wang, Lei Zheng and Hou Qingjie are all very outstanding. Just give them a black eye and recruit them directly. Lei Bao is not bad. I think we should start the Heaven's Fate assessment, Hou Yuan said. At this time he was extremely fair. Elder Hou is right. Lei Zheng and Hou Qingjie are stronger than Su Wang, but it's enough to recruit them directly. Lei Bao can be given a chance. Yin Shui agreed with Hou Yuan's point of view. Then it's decided. Organize the information and report it directly. Also, observe Su Mu from the Golden Flame sect. He's very talented, Lei Hua decided. Night Sorrow ran across the ice plains every day. If he was lucky, he would be able to collect ice spirit blood essences. 6 days later, Night Sorrow left the Far East ice plains. He had collected 5 more ice spirit blood essences. Now he had close to 20 ice spirit blood essences in his storage ring. After leaving the Far East ice plains, Night Sorrow got on Tianyu's back and flew towards the Medicine Valley. If there was nothing urgent, Night Sorrow would travel during the day and rest during the night. While traveling, he would also raise his cultivation base. Night Sorrow was already at the 2nd level of the spirit severing stage. However, his cultivation of the myriad Dao treasured tome was a little slow. After all, the origin spirit liquid was still a little lacking in terms of cultivation of the body. What made Night Sorrow the happiest was that the Void Fate Pearl was constantly releasing a purple void attribute, transforming Night Sorrow's true chi. When resting at night, Night Sorrow would often be attacked by demonic beasts. However, Night Sorrow didn't need to deal with them. Tianyu would directly kill them. Day after day passed. Night Sorrow was getting closer and closer to the Medicine Valley. While flying, he would also be attacked by flying demonic beasts. However, Night Sorrow and Tianyu were now extremely strong. If they didn't open their eyes, they would be killed. 2 months later, Night Sorrow returned to Danding City and directly went to the Dragon Spring Courtyard. After returning to the Dragon Spring Courtyard, Night Sorrow didn't see Yang Lei. However, he knew that the Red Cloud sect and the Golden Flame sect had joined forces to attack the Medicine Valley. They didn't send out any venerables. They were all below the 5th level. Of course, the Medicine Valley didn't hold back. They directly organized people to fight back. The O family also sent out disciples to participate in the battle. Now the battle was very intense. How could this be? Night Sorrow asked, somewhat puzzled. You killed the Red Cloud sect too miserably in the alternate space. Therefore they hit it off with the Golden Flame sect and want to attack the Medicine Valley. Aoi, who was staying in the Dragon Spring Courtyard, said, Why is it my business again? Night Sorrow was somewhat speechless. He really didn't want to cause trouble for the Medicine Valley. However, trouble came again. This is called the tree wants to be quiet, but the wind won't stop. You hurt the Red Cloud sect and the Golden Flame sect is cheap. What can you do? Sikong Chiyu said. Since they're here, then let's kill them. Night Sorrow was somewhat angry. The matter in the alternate space was solved in the alternate space. What kind of ability was it to come out and settle accounts? You don't have to worry. It's currently a mess. The Southern Dipper sect and the Walkabout sect have attacked the Red Cloud sect. The Holy Light sect and the Thunder Rumbling sect are also fighting. It's said that the Thunder Rumbling sect's disciples killed many of the Holy Light sect's disciples. Oi said. It's really chaotic. The Thunder Rumbling sect's disciples are not bad. They are a bit overbearing, but they are very magnanimous. Night Sorrow said. He had a good impression of Lei Bao and Lei Zheng. Among the 7 superpowers of the Eastern Profound Domain, the strongest is the Holy Light sect. However, the most belligerent is the Thunder Rumbling sect. If the Holy Light sect wants to show off in front of the Thunder Rumbling sect, then they've found the wrong place. Aoi explained the situation of the Holy Light sect and the Thunder Rumbling sect to Night Sorrow. This time it's a chaotic situation. Where did my ninth senior sister go? Night Sorrow asked. She went to Nanyang City. She went there to guard the situation. Senior brother and the others are also there. You don't have to worry. You should rest and accompany Sikong. You haven't seen each other in a long time. Aoi smiled and left. Chapter 304. Geniuses remember love in 1 second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Did everything go well? Sikong Chuyu asked after entering the main building. Very well. All the problems have been solved. How have you been recently? Night Sorrow asked while holding Sikong Chuyu's hand. $**you only original W version O, P and him. Are all stolen Dean versions plus very well. It's just too quiet without you around. Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and said. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that with Sikong Chuyu here and Yang Lei not around, it would indeed be lonely. Aoi had to guide the disciples in their cultivation and couldn't accompany him all the time. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu chatted while drinking tea. Night Sorrow hadn't been so relaxed in a long time. After that, the two of them went to the dining room to eat. The dining room was very lively. Yang Lei and Qing Ji's disciples were all here. There were a lot of people here and it was very noisy. When they saw Night Sorrow, these disciples bowed to him. This wasn't just respect for seniority, but also respect for the strong. In the Medicine Valley, if you didn't know the name Night Sorrow, then you didn't deserve to be a disciple of the Medicine Valley. Not only in Taishan Peak, but in the entire Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow was a model of the sect's disciples. Make yourselves at home. Everyone sit down and eat. Yi Shang waved his hand at the group of third-generation disciples. He found a seat and sat down. Sikong Chuyu sat beside him. Night Sorrow came to eat to relieve his emotions and find the feeling. After eating a little, he put down his bowl and chopsticks. 13th Martial Uncle, can you tell us how to cultivate faster? Seeing Night Sorrow put down his bowl and chopsticks, he Meow walked over and asked. Actually, I don't know either. I feel that we have to know what we want first and then work hard to fight for it. Only by fighting for it can we get what we want. Night Sorrow thought for a while and said. 6th Martial Uncle, I don't really understand. He Meow looked at Aoi. Actually, your 13th Martial Uncle's fast cultivation speed is related to his talent. But the most important thing is his hard work. Since he entered the sect, his life has only been cultivation and experience. But this might not be suitable for you. Aoi said. He Meow and the others nodded. They really didn't understand Night Sorrow's rise. After eating, Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu went to the Skywater Lake to enjoy the breeze. The silver fox cub also followed behind. It shouldn't be called a cub anymore. It had grown a lot and its cultivation had reached the mid-stage of the second order. It was very close to Night Sorrow. This was something that no one could compare to. Even Aoi, Sikong Chuyu, Hai Luo, and the others who had been taking care of him all this time. Enjoying the night breeze, Night Sorrow's heart was exceptionally peaceful. He hugged Sikong Chuyu and didn't need to say anything. The other party knew what they were thinking. Chuyu, I'll accompany you to the Qingtian region later, okay? Now that the Eastern Shen region is in chaos and the Medicine Valley is in a difficult situation, I have to help. Night Sorrow said. I know there's no hurry. It's not bad to accompany you in the Eastern Shen region like this. I know that you're going to participate in the war. I'll go with you. If the Sikong clan and Jiyu clan find out that I'm here, we'll run. Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Night Sorrow nodded. He didn't have many worries now. He didn't need to take a position in Tianji Tower now, but he could also ask for a position himself. If Sikong Chuyu was exposed again, then Night Sorrow could go to Tianji Tower, take a mission, and go to another region to cultivate quietly. As for whether the Jiyu clan and Sikong clan would threaten the Medicine Valley, this problem wouldn't appear. First of all, without a venerable, no one could shake the foundation of the Medicine Valley. Producing a venerable? Tianji Tower wouldn't watch. The night was a little cold. Night Sorrow put his outer robe on Sikong Chuyu. Let's go back and rest. You've been eating and sleeping in the open these days. You need to have a good sleep. Sikong Chuyu said. Night Sorrow nodded and returned to her pavilion with Sikong Chuyu in his arms. Go in and have a cup of hot tea. Sikong Chuyu said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded with a smile. He also wanted to accompany Sikong Chuyu for a while. Staying in the bamboo pavilion, Sikong Chuyu lit a red candle and made a pot of tea. Such a scene has appeared in my mind many times. Night Sorrow said with a smile. It will happen often in the future, but we may need to add a few more chairs. Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. What for? Night Sorrow was stunned and asked, "What about ninth senior sister? Also, if you help us find a few more sisters, we'll need more chairs." Xianxia said with a smile. "Chiyu, I'm sorry. I didn't handle these things well." Night Sorrow said apologetically, "Don't be like this. I don't mean to blame you. I also like ninth senior sister." Xianxia held Night Sorrow's hand and said. Night Sorrow nodded. As long as Xianxia and Yang Lei had a good relationship, he felt at ease. "Okay, let's rest." Xianxia's face was a little red. "Then I won't leave." Looking at Xianxia's beautiful face, Night Sorrow was a little touched. Then Xianxia took off her skirt and helped Night Sorrow hang up his outer robe. Night Sorrow sat beside Xianxia and looked at Xianxia quietly. "Chiyu, you're so beautiful." Night Sorrow held Xianxia's hand and said, "You also know how to coax people. Let's rest." Xianxia's face was very red. Night Sorrow nodded and hugged Xianxia to lie on the bed. Hugging Xianxia's delicate body and nose full of Xianxia's scent, Night Sorrow had a reaction. "Night Sorrow, you?" Xianxia, who was leaning on Night Sorrow's arm, felt the change in Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was a little embarrassed and didn't know how to explain. "Night Sorrow, I haven't known you for a long time. I understand you, so I don't blame you. I also want to be your woman and be with you for the rest of my life." Xianxia's voice was as soft as a mosquito's. "I didn't think so, but this happened. Please don't mind." Night Sorrow didn't want to pressure Xianxia. "I don't mind. I understand." Xianxia looked up at Night Sorrow. She liked this kind of Night Sorrow who was simple and considerate. Night Sorrow lowered his head and kissed Xianxia's red lips. At this time he couldn't control himself anymore. Xianxia hugged Night Sorrow's neck and passionately kissed him back. The two of them rolled on the bed. As they rolled, their clothes became less and less. After a while, they were naked under the red candles. Xianxia's body was like white jade. It was a masterpiece given to the human world by God. Noticing Night Sorrow looking at her, Xianxia pulled the blanket over herself. "You can't look at me like that. Go and blow out the light." Night Sorrow nodded and got up to extinguish the red candles. Then he returned to the bedside. Xianxia reached out and held Night Sorrow's hand. Night Sorrow returned to the bed and covered Night Sorrow with the blanket. Chapter 305. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow, I'm here. Xianxia moved the quilt and hugged Yishan. Yishan looked at Xianxia. Xianxia looked at Yishan and hugged him. Night Sorrow couldn't think of anything else at this moment. He hugged Xianxia and gently placed him on the bed. Then he gently pressed down on Xianxia's delicate body. Soft moans and gasps echoed in the bamboo building. The moment the golden phoenix and the jade dew met, it was better than countless things in the world. After a long time, the storm gradually subsided. Yishang tightly hugged Xianxia. Yishang were together. Leaning on Yishang's shoulder, Xianxia's voice was still a little breathless. "Yes." Night Sorrow said in a low voice, "We're together now. Chuyu, when I go to the realm of Qingtian, I'll propose marriage. I won't let you follow me around like this." Xianxia leaned on Night Sorrow's shoulder and said, "I don't care about that as long as we're together. I'm willing to win the heart of one of us and stay together forever." "I'll keep that in mind," Night Sorrow said as he stroked Xianxia's hair. The two of them hugged each other and chatted casually. It was inevitable that their passion would ignite again. The two of them woke up early in the morning. When Night Sorrow woke up, Xianxia tidied up the bedsheets because there were plum blossoms blooming on them. Noticing Night Sorrow's gaze, Xianxia felt a little embarrassed. "Don't look." Night Sorrow smiled and went to wash up. He was very happy that he had a woman he liked. Now he just had to work hard to increase his cultivation. When they were having breakfast together, Always smiled at the two of them. "Congratulations. Sixth senior sister." Xianxia blushed. She knew she couldn't hide such a thing. "Alright, let's eat." 13 You have to treat Chuyu well in the future. Otherwise, sixth senior sister won't forgive you. Aoi glanced at Night Sorrow and said. Xianxia's transformation from a girl to a woman couldn't be hidden from her. Love gone little say, after eating something, Night Sorrow chatted with Xianxia in the garden of the other courtyard. He was not in a hurry to cultivate, so he didn't mind spending one more day. Night Sorrow, you've already split your soul by 2 levels. Have you cultivated your elemental and protective chi? Xianxia asked. I've cultivated it, but there's a small problem. Night Sorrow told him about his nihility attribute. You can't tell anyone about this. Otherwise trouble will come. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, xianxia was a little anxious. This matter was too big and could shock the world. I'm telling you. If I don't tell anyone, it won't be exposed easily. Night Sorrow smiled. Whether it's the nihility attribute or the nihility attribute, they are both factors that can cause a storm of blood. Do you know why the cores of demonic beasts below the 4th rank are not worth much? Because they don't contain any elemental attributes. It's the same for cultivators. xianxia said to Night Sorrow. After that, xianxia explained the importance of elemental cores to Night Sorrow. Whether it was humans or demonic beasts, once they reached the 4th rank, their cores would have elemental attributes. Absorbing elemental energy to cultivate was a method of cultivating elemental attributes. You mean if they know my elemental attribute, others will kill me and steal my core? Night Sorrow asked in shock. Yes. The nihility attribute is the highest attribute and can restrain other attributes. Everyone covets this attribute, so you have to be careful. xianxia nodded. Her heart was filled with worry. If this continued, Night Sorrow would be at the center of the storm sooner or later. It would be very dangerous. I have a way to hide it. Night Sorrow's true chi flowed through his hands and exploded, forming a milky white protective shield. Ice attribute? xianxia was stunned. Night Sorrow then explained the characteristics of his mystic ice hands to xianxia. After what happened last night, the two did not need to be separated. That's not bad. xianxia nodded. With this mystic jade spiritual chi to hide the nihility attribute, it would not be discovered. After lunch, Night Sorrow and xianxia planned to leave for Nanyang City. After a morning's rest, xianxia's pain had already recovered. Always said a few words to the two before sending them off. Riding on Tianyu, Night Sorrow and xianxia set off for Nanyang City. Sitting on Tianyu's back, xianxia leaned into Night Sorrow's embrace. I like this feeling. In the future, let's find a place with beautiful scenery and live a peaceful life. Chiyu, I still want to find my parents first. Night Sorrow whispered. This matter was buried deep in his heart. I know. When it's convenient, let's walk around. Your jade pendant should be a very important clue. xianxia said. Time passed quickly as they chatted. In 2 days the two arrived at Nanyang City. When they arrived at Nanyang City, Night Sorrow could feel the tense atmosphere of battle. The people coming and going in the city were all armored city guards. Night Sorrow and xianxia did not ride Tianyu into the city. It would be easy for them to be attacked. This place was different from Danding City. Night Sorrow did not have special privileges. When they arrived at the city lord's mansion, Night Sorrow took out his identity token. The guards were disciples of Medicine Valley. They recognized Night Sorrow and led Night Sorrow into the city lord's mansion. Inside the city lord's mansion, Night Sorrow saw Yang Lei, Chu Ling Xiao and Wu Qi. Ninth senior sister, I'm here. Second senior brother Chu, you're all here. Night Sorrow greeted them as they entered the city lord's mansion. xianxia also cupped his fists in greeting. 13, you're here. Have a seat. Yang Lei nodded at Night Sorrow. After Night Sorrow sat down, Yang Lei and the others continued to talk about the current situation. Then Night Sorrow learned about the current situation. The current battlefield between Medicine Valley, O Family Golden Flame Sect, and Scarlet Cloud Sect was at Nanyang Lake. They were all gathered there to fight. Currently both sides had victories and losses. Fight at that place? Night Sorrow asked, a little surprised. That's right. Both sides have venerables. The intimidation of venerables is useless. If you sneak attack, then I'll sneak attack as well. Why don't we just crush them in a head-on battle? This is a competition of strength. Whoever can't withstand it will be pushed forward by the other side, Yang Lei said. Is Medicine Valley's loss serious? Night Sorrow asked. It's okay. We lost some protectors and enforcers. The city guards that were mobilized from all over the place also suffered a great loss, Wu Qi said. I'm going to participate in the battle tomorrow, Night Sorrow said. It's not very safe in the chaotic battle. It's better if you don't go, Chu Ling Xiao said. Senior brother Chu, I'm going to participate. Scarlet Cloud Sect and Golden Flame Sect declared war on Medicine Valley because of me. How can I hide at the back at this time? Yishang shook his head. He did not want to see the disciples of the Medicine Valley fighting for their lives in front of him while he himself was still hiding in the back. Permanent, free VT fee/watch VT talk. Chapter 306. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Hearing this, Night Sorrow frowned. Don't we have an antidote in the Medicine Valley? Yes, but it's useless. The poison of the red cloud needle takes effect instantly. In that kind of chaotic battle, a momentary delay in reaction is fatal. There's no chance to take the antidote. Yang Lei shook her head and said. Knight Sorrow nodded. He knew the power of the red cloud needle. When Yang Lei was hit by the red cloud needle, she couldn't move, let alone the other 4th-level guardians and law enforcers. After talking for a while, Chu Lingxiao and Wu Qi went to rest. They had just returned from the front and were tired. Yang Lei took Knight Sorrow and Xikong Chuyu to the backyard of the city lord's mansion and told Knight Sorrow the current situation in detail. The Golden Flame sect and the Red Cloud sect were fighting to the death with the Medicine Valley. The Medicine Valley sent out the older generation who volunteered to participate in the battle. In other words, they were members with little potential. As the older generation of the Medicine Valley, they were all aware and willing to fight for the Medicine Valley. They were willing to sacrifice themselves and work hard for the future of the Medicine Valley. This kind of desperate fight won't affect the development of the Medicine Valley, but it's heartbreaking. They are all good disciples of the Medicine Valley. Yang Lei said with some emotion. Ninth senior sister, don't they use poison needles? Find someone to make me some steel needles or dental needles. If they can use poison needles, so can we. Love go little say, Chunite Sorrow said. Normally, the bone needles made from the bones of high-level monsters were very powerful. However, what Knight Sorrow wanted to make was bone-rotting poison. Bone needles were not suitable. Only steel needles and dental needles with hardness close to that of ore would work. Then let's try it. Guards. Yang Lei called someone and directly gave the order. Knight Sorrow, be careful when using poison. Don't hurt yourself, Xikong Chuyu reminded Knight Sorrow. I will. Knight Sorrow nodded. Then you guys have a good rest. I still have to go to the city lord's mansion to sort out the information. These bastards are really troublesome. Yang Lei cursed softly. Where are eldest senior brother and the others? Knight Sorrow asked. Currently, neither side has sent out any stage 5 cultivators. However, in order to prevent any accidents, Great Elder and Great Senior Brother are standing guard at the front, Yang Lei said. Are any of us injured? Knight Sorrow asked. Your 11th senior brother was slightly injured. It happened the day before yesterday. The other side joined the new forces. We couldn't hold them off with only the older generation of protectors and enforcers. The second generation disciples of Taishan Peak and Arctic Peak joined the battle. A few of them were injured but none of them died. Yang Lei opened her mouth and said. I'm sorry, Yang Lei said. Knight Sorrow's expression turned cold. Mo Chen's injuries had angered him. One had to know that Mo Chen had taken good care of him. During that period of time, Mo Chen had accompanied him on missions. Look at section Z3 on chapter 17". I'll join you guys later. Yang Lei was busy. She nodded at Knight Sorrow and Xikong Chuyu and left. This is how the world works. The strong prey on the weak. If you are weak, others will bully you. If you are strong, others will respect you, Xikong Chuyu said. Baidu search AI go female sign xiao say www.ichuxs. Zoam Knight Sorrow nodded. He understood what Xikong Chuyu meant because he already had a lot of feelings. In the evening, Yang Lei returned with a bunch of steel needles. Knight Sorrow took out the bone-rotting grass and thought for a moment. It's a waste to use it directly. I'll go get a pill furnace to refine poison. With Yang Lei and Xikong Chuyu accompanying him, Knight Sorrow went to buy 2 pill furnaces. After entering the 4th rank, Knight Sorrow could condense alchemy fire and use a 4th rank pill furnace. The previous pill furnace had to be eliminated. He prepared 2 because one was used to refine poison and the other was used to refine other pills. After returning to the city lord's mansion, Knight Sorrow used some green radish grass to refine 2 large bottles of bone-rotting liquid. He then put on a pair of gloves and soaked the tips of the steel needles in the liquid. He then inserted them into his hidden weapon belt. This way he wouldn't hurt himself. Will this work? Yang Lei asked. It's more ruthless than their red cloud needles. This bone-rotting grass is very rare, Knight Sorrow said. Yang Lei nodded. She knew that Knight Sorrow never exaggerated. After a night's rest, the 3 of them set off for Nanyang Lake under Yang Lei's lead. It took them half a day to reach the Medicine Valley's camp by the Nanyang Lake. Old 9, why did you let 13 come? Nonsense. The Great Elder glared at Yang Lei. Currently, the Medicine Valley didn't send out any young disciples because they were the future pillars of the Medicine Valley and needed protection. Knight Sorrow was also the target of absolute protection. Great Elder, please don't blame my 9th senior sister. I was the one who wanted to come. They are all disciples of the Medicine Valley. Knight Sorrow is one too. If they can sacrifice themselves for the Medicine Valley, so can Knight Sorrow. Night Sorrow said while looking at the injured disciples of the Medicine Valley. Night Sorrow, this is not your battlefield. Go back. Xianhu shouted. Great Elder, Second Elder, you are all doing this for my own good. I know this. However, I can't watch my fellow disciples fight while I hide at the back. If I do that, I won't be able to face my own heart, Night Sorrow said. The Great Elder and Second Elder didn't say anything. Since Night Sorrow had put it this way, their refusal was equivalent to a blow to their morale. Don't worry, Great Elder. We will stand at the front. We won't let anything happen to Night Sorrow, a white-haired old man said. A white-haired old man said. He was one of the people who had exhausted his potential and was charging at the very front. Don't worry, Great Elder. The other disciples of the Medicine Valley also stood up and said, I, Night Sorrow, am willing to live and die together with everyone. Night Sorrow said while waving his reincarnation spear. Live and die together. Live and die together. All the disciples of the Medicine Valley shouted. At this moment, the disciples of the Medicine Valley were filled with fighting spirit. Great Elder, I'm sorry. Night Sorrow bowed to the Great Elder. The Great Elder took a deep breath and nodded to Night Sorrow. You are the pride of the Medicine Valley. Go. Thank you, Great Elder. Night Sorrow was very happy to receive the Great Elder's permission. Looking at Night Sorrow's slightly immature but determined face, the Great Elder made a decision. If Night Sorrow was in danger, he would save Night Sorrow even if he had to risk the lives of the experts on the other side. Night Sorrow set up a huge animal skin tent. He and xianxia still needed to rest. Besides, Yanglei was also there. After Night Sorrow set up the tent, all the disciples of the Taishan Peak arrived. 13. Your fourth senior brother is impressed by your cultivation speed, Huang'an said with a smile. Fourth senior brother, come and drink. Night Sorrow opened the jug and poured a bowl of wine for everyone. Actually, it's nothing. Tomorrow, third senior brother and I will fight. You will follow behind him, Lu Ping said. Thank you, fifth senior brother. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at Lu Peng. 13. I believe in your fighting ability. The main thing is to be careful of the opponent's scarlet cloud needle. Don't rush to the front. Even if you get hit by the needle, others can save you, Gong Xian reminded Night Sorrow. Chapter 307. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. 13. Stay close to me and your fifth senior brother tomorrow, Xuanhuan, who had been silent all this time, said. He had been thinking about how to make Night Sorrow safer. Didn't you say that the disciples who participated in the battle were those who had exhausted their potential? Why are all of you participating? Night Sorrow felt that this statement was not right. Unspecified currency. Now first you, most of them are, but without a disciple in the late stage of the spirit severing stage, they can't withstand the enemy's attacks. Therefore, the second-generation disciples of each peak have to be the leaders. In order to avoid the enemy's red cloud needles, they have to engage in close combat with the enemy's masters. Even so, there are still disciples from Wangyun Peak who have died, Gong Xian explained to Night Sorrow. Eldest senior brother, I also have poison needles here. I can let third senior brother and fifth senior brother use them tomorrow. Night Sorrow took out the bone-rotting steel needles and placed them on the table. How's the effect? Gong Xian asked as he pulled out a poison needle. The poison needle is poisonous in the blue area, but it's fine in the white area. As long as it comes into contact with the flesh of animals or humans, it will directly corrode into blood, Night Sorrow said. Then everyone pulled a gray bear for food and did an experiment. As a result, the gray bear fell instantly and slowly turned into blood. 13. Isn't this too overbearing? Lu Ping said. Love Gong Little Seika yesterday 13 knew that the Red Cloud sect used poison needles, so he researched this to restrain them. If they use the Red Cloud needles, we will use this, Yang Lei said as she hugged Night Sorrow's shoulder. Very good. Everyone take some and throw them away on the battlefield. Let them have a taste of the poison needles, Gong Xian said. Then everyone took some poison needles, chatted for a while and returned to their shacks to rest. Ninth senior sister, Chiyu, each of you take a few for self-defense, Night Sorrow said to Yang Lei and xianxia. Yang Lei and xianxia also took a few and carefully inserted them into their handkerchiefs. Ninth senior sister, I still have some bone-rotting liquid. If you can't handle it, you can go and forge some steel needles, Night Sorrow said to Yang Lei. The quality of the steel needles is not good enough. We can't waste the venom. We have to make some good needles, Yang Lei said. Then use the ice WRM tooth. Night Sorrow gave the ice WRM tooth he collected to Yang Lei and let Yang Lei arrange it. Then Night Sorrow took out the red cloud needle. Under the confused gazes of Yang Lei and xianxia, He pricked his left arm. Then the black jade spiritual energy rushed to his arm. What are you doing? Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu both stood up nervously. However, what happened next stunned the two girls. Night Sorrow swung the red cloud needle back and forth in his left arm. He was not affected at all. Then Night Sorrow's left arm shook, and the red cloud needle was shaken out. A little black blood even oozed out. This red cloud needle can't hurt me, Night Sorrow said with a smile. The red cloud needle's venom was very strong, but Night Sorrow's body had been strengthened. His flesh and blood were filled with energy so the venom could not spread quickly. Then Night Sorrow's black jade spiritual energy froze the needle. This is possible? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow in shock. She knew the power of the red cloud needle very well. It's fine as long as the venom doesn't spread, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Yang Lei still did not understand, but she did not continue to ask. Then the three of them meditated and rested, waiting for the next day's battle. The battle went on every day. They fought in the morning and reorganized in the afternoon. When they woke up in the morning, Sikong Chuyu helped Night Sorrow tidy up his hair. My cultivation is at rank 5, so I can't fight with you. You have to be careful. Love, Gon Little say W. Chu. Night Sorrow nodded. He carried the reincarnation spear and went to the camp of the Medicine Valley's disciples who were going to fight. 13. You have to be careful. The battle will take place at the stone mountain next to the shoal, Xuanhuan said as he pointed at a place more than 10 li ahead. This was a special area. Both sides were camping at a relatively high place. It was a forest area and Nanyang Lake was on the side. The middle area was relatively low. It was a shoal and there was a stone mountain on the shoal. The originally green and white stones were already covered with dark streaks, which were traces of blood. Third, senior brother, you have to be careful too. We have a lot of poison needles. If we can't handle it, we can rush out, Night Sorrow said to Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan nodded. This battle is a war of attrition. Both sides will send out around 200 people to seize the stone mountain until one side retreats. So don't rush too far ahead. While Xuanhuan was speaking, a group of people rushed out from the opposite camp and headed towards the stone mountain. Medicine Valley's disciples, move out. The Great Elder waved his hand. As the Great Elder waved his hand, the Medicine Valley's disciples set off. The O Clan's people cheered. The Medicine Valley and the O Clan were fighting together, but their members were separated. Otherwise, there would be accidental injuries in the chaotic battle. This time, the Medicine Valley's disciples might be the O Clan's next. Soon, both sides met at the foot of the stone mountain and began to fight. Night Sorrow's true energy burst forth and formed a protective true energy around his body. He poured his vibrating energy into his reincarnation spear and slashed towards the Golden Flame Sect's disciple. Seeing that Night Sorrow's cultivation was at the second level of the spirit-severing stage, the Golden Flame Sect's old man, who was at the fourth level of the spirit-severing stage, sneered. He waved his battle blade and slashed towards Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. Clang. With a muffled sound, the old man's battle blade was shaken off. His arms were also wrapped in snow-white frost. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear instantly slashed across the old man's throat. After killing the old man, Night Sorrow's feet trembled. He swept his reincarnation spear and smashed it towards another Golden Flame Sect's disciple. Night Sorrow's arms had the strength of over 20,000 jin. In addition, his true energy was completely unleashed. How could this Golden Flame Sect's disciple, who was at the same level as Night Sorrow, withstand? His arms that were holding weapons were directly shaken off. His head was also smashed. Without even looking at the corpse, Night Sorrow waved his spear and pierced towards the neck of the old man who was suppressing the Medicine Valley's disciple. Feeling the strong wind assaulting his body, the old man turned around. Ignoring Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear, he swung his blade towards Night Sorrow's left chest. This was a method of fighting where both sides would suffer. He had exhausted all his potential. If he could fight until he defeated a young disciple like Night Sorrow, he would have profited. Die! Night Sorrow roared. His left hand executed the mysterious jade hands and grabbed towards the old man's battle blade. This scene caused the faces of the Medicine Valley's disciples to change. Night Sorrow's actions were too irrational. Exchanging one life for another was fine under normal circumstances. However, it was inappropriate in a group battle. Reckless. The Great Elder roared. His body flashed and he was about to attack. Great Elder, wait. Yang Lei had confidence in Night Sorrow, so she stopped the Great Elder. She knew the power of Night Sorrow's mysterious jade hands. Just as the Great Elder was wondering how Yang Lei stopped him, the situation of the battle changed. Night Sorrow's left hand grabbed the Golden Flame sect's old man's battle blade. The reincarnation spear in his right hand pierced through the old man's chest. Then Night Sorrow swung his left hand and threw the battle blade towards the Golden Flame sect's disciples. He directly killed a Golden Flame sect's disciple who was at the peak of the third step. Chapter 308. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow, who was charging forward, suddenly stopped because 2 crimson cloud needles had appeared on his shoulders. This scene made the spectating members of Medicine Valley worried. They all noticed the red cloud needle on Night Sorrow's shoulder. The battlefield was chaotic. Even First Elder Gong Xian and the others could not see very clearly. However, everyone had the ability to detect and sense, so the scene of the battlefield was imprinted in their minds. At this time, the disciples of the Golden Flame sect surrounded Night Sorrow. They saw the scarlet cloud needle on Night Sorrow's shoulder and knew that he couldn't move. However, at this moment Night Sorrow made his move. With a sweep of his reincarnation spear, he sent a few disciples of the Golden Flame sect flying, breaking their sternum and shattering their internal organs. What's the situation? Old Nine, do you know? The Great Elder looked at Yang Lei and asked. Scarlet cloud needles can't do anything to 13. They have made the wrong decision, Yang Lei said with narrowed eyes. You have poison needles, do you think we don't? Lu Peng was infuriated when he saw someone shoot scarlet cloud needles at Night Sorrow. He took out his rotten bones and aimed at the leader of the Golden Flame sect. Lu Peng's speed was so fast that the members of the Golden Flame sect were not prepared for it. One of them managed to dodge it, but the other one who was fighting with Xuanhuan was hit. After being hit by the bone-rotting needle, this middle-aged man with a peak spirit-severing stage cultivation base from the Golden Flame sect fell to the ground and turned into a pool of blood. Love Gong Little Say Kulu Peng continued to release poison needles, killing a few Golden Flame sect disciples with high cultivation. Night Sorrow brandished his reincarnation spear and dodged any late 4th Order martial artists he encountered. If he encountered early 4th Order and mid-4th Order martial artists, he would violently attack them. Then he rushed to the peak of the stone mountain and fought with the Golden Flame sect's disciples. In just a short while, Night Sorrow had killed more than a dozen disciples of the Golden Flame sect. The area under his feet was covered in blood. Night Sorrow's quick and brutal slaughter had attracted the attention of the Golden Flame sect's disciples. A late-stage spirit-severing expert from the Golden Flame sect rushed to the peak and attacked Night Sorrow. This person was very smart. He knew that Night Sorrow's strength was tyrannical, and his xianxia attribute was also difficult to restrain, so he didn't want to clash head-on with Night Sorrow. Instead, he surrounded Night Sorrow and attacked with his sword qi, which made things a little difficult for Night Sorrow. While Night Sorrow was fighting with this disciple of the Golden Flame sect, other disciples of the Golden Flame sect came to besiege Night Sorrow. They had all learned how to use sword qi and saber qi to attack. Under such circumstances, Night Sorrow was unable to attend to one thing and lost sight of another. His back was struck by a saber light. Baidu search AI go female sign xiao say www.ichuxs. The saber light broke through Night Sorrow's protective xianxia, and its attacking power was greatly reduced. In addition, Night Sorrow was wearing an ice silk soft robe, so the saber light only left a wound on his waist. Night Sorrow was protected by the energy of the myriad Tao Tome, so this wound was only a simple superficial wound. However, he knew that danger was coming. As his thoughts turned, Night Sorrow rushed to one side. These people's cultivation was higher than his. Once he was trapped, he would be easily dismembered by their energy attacks. Night Sorrow's indomitable charge made the person who intercepted him unlucky. His weapon was directly knocked away, and his body was sent flying by the reincarnation spear. His sternum was shattered, and it seemed that he would not be able to survive. However, Night Sorrow was still surrounded. The disciples of the Golden Flame sect were determined to kill Night Sorrow first. This was because someone recognized Night Sorrow and knew that Night Sorrow was a genius disciple of the Medicine Valley. This situation made Xuanhuan and Lu Peng anxious. After killing their opponents, they rushed to the Stone Mountain. After killing the disciples of the Golden Flame sect, Xuanhuan and Lu Peng rushed to Night Sorrow's back and broke through the encirclement. 13, are you okay? Xuanhuan asked worriedly. I'm fine. The scarlet cloud needle on Night Sorrow's shoulder was long gone. That place was protected by the ice silk soft robe. Then continue to kill. Xuanhuan and Lu Peng began to chase after the disciples of the Golden Flame sect. Night Sorrow was not idle either. How is this possible? Qifeng, how can your scarlet cloud needle be ineffective? Could it be that he has a protective treasure robe? An old man from the Scarlet Cloud sect asked the man who fired the Scarlet Cloud needle. Then he spoke of his own guess. Soon the battle ended. Knight Sorrow's face was slightly red. The high-intensity battle did not make him feel tired. Instead, it made him feel excited. Read the original chapter on GY. Fighting in a crisis was the best way to hone one's combat experience. Knight Sorrow felt that his spear skills had improved a lot. The battle is over. We can retreat now, Xuanhuan said to Knight Sorrow. At this time, the remaining disciples of the Golden Flame sect had already retreated. Knight Sorrow nodded and followed the people of the Medicine Valley back to the Medicine Valley area. Many people in the Medicine Valley were injured. However, compared to the Golden Flame sect, the Medicine Valley had won a big victory. Seeing the group return, the Great Elder and the others came to welcome them. 13, are you okay? How could you rashly go in so deep? The Great Elder's heart was still hanging in suspense. I was a little impulsive, but I'm fine, Knight Sorrow said. But we saw that you were poisoned? Xianhu, who had been puzzled, asked the question on everyone's mind. I have a protective armor. The red cloud needles did not hurt me, Knight Sorrow explained. In fact, without the ice silk soft armor, Knight Sorrow was not afraid of the red cloud needles. The Great Elder nodded and asked the other disciples of the Medicine Valley to bandage the injured disciples. Knight Sorrow also returned to the animal skin shack. Under the compulsion of Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu, he bandaged the wound on his waist. By the time Yishang finished treating his wounds, Gong Xian and the others had arrived. 13, you were too reckless today. Xuanhuan was a little scared. If Knight Sorrow had not been able to hold on, he would have been killed and dismembered. If that had happened, he and Lu Peng would not have been able to answer to Yu Yangyu. Thank you, third senior brother and fifth senior brother, for helping me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to escape, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. A group battle is different from a one-on-one battle. In a group battle, you have to consider your own safety first, Gong Xian said. I know. I will be careful tomorrow, Knight Sorrow said with a nod. Tomorrow the O family will fight. You don't have to go, Xuanhuan said. Then I will fight. I will be careful. Today's situation will not happen again. Knight Sorrow planned to train his combat experience after reaching the 4th stage. While Knight Sorrow was chatting, the Golden Flame sect's camp was also discussing. Elder Qi, why did your red cloud needles fail to work on that guy? Qi Tianqing asked. Qi Tianqing was currently in charge of the Golden Flame sect. Qi Qinli was in charge of the Red Cloud sect. That guy might be wearing a protective armor, Qi Qinli analyzed. Can their poison needles solve the problem? Our sect's disciples have all died. Qi Tianqing's expression was unsightly. After all, the Golden Flame sect had lost many disciples in today's battle. It's the bone-rotting poison. Apart from being decisive and cutting off the poisoned area or taking precautions, there is no other way, Qi Qinli said. Qi Tianqing's face turned ashen when he heard Qi Qinli's words. The poisoned arms and thighs could be cut off, but what about the neck and body? Furthermore, what was the difference between self-harm and suicide in battle? Chapter 309. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by Go? Talk Web, providing you with wonderful novels to read. Great news, excavators don't need money anymore. If you gather 10,000 yuan before the night of the 28th, the website will give you 10,000 excavators for free. 10,000 excavators. You can still get your money back after half a month. This is very important to me, I'm crying. If you have the ability, hurry up. This is really a free excavator, 10,000 excavators. You can just click on the excavator page and you can see it. Shizi also had a few words that he wanted to say. This investment is not a scam. That is to say, when you invest, you will be asked to fill in your Alipay or bank card information. Only when you withdraw your money will you be able to invest. 0 original first equals $send on the 13th of October, you can get your money back. This is equivalent to using your money. It's only half a month. Since everyone doesn't care about the interest, I won't say too much. Dan Zhongli is here. If you can't withdraw your money, then you can look for me. Calling everyone, the main thing is that the Myriad Daos Ascension stage really needs the 10,000 excavators given by the website. 10,000 excavators are very important to this book. Chapter 310. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Okay, we will definitely injure them severely. Qi Tianqing nodded. However, he was still worried that the Medicine Valley would have many of these poisonous needles. In the evening, the disciples of the Medicine Valley brought the needles made from the Ice Flood Dragon's teeth under the arrangement of Yang Lei. Night Sorrow dipped the needles in the bone-rotting poison and distributed some to the disciples of the Taishan Peak. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow carried the reincarnation spear and walked out of the beast skin tent. You still want to fight? Looking at Night Sorrow, the Great Elder asked with a frown. Yes. Night Sorrow replied. The Great Elder hesitated. Today, it wasn't the disciples of the Medicine Valley but the disciples of the O clan. This way the protection of Night Sorrow would be much weaker. Great Elder, if Night Sorrow still wants to fight, we will do our best to protect him. O Zitong and O Ziyun, the two of you will fight today. The O clan's elder, O Xianxia, said to the two peak fourth stage disciples of the O clan. Yes. As long as we are alive, we will not let anything happen to him. O Zitong and O Ziyun bowed and said, Third junior brother, fourth junior brother, fifth junior brother, bring the bone-rotting needles and hold the line at the back. When they release the poisonous needles, release them. Gong Xian instructed Huanan, Huang'an and Lu Peng. The disciples of the O clan and Night Sorrow went out to fight because the disciples of the Scarlet Cloud sect were already advancing towards the shoal. Night Sorrow was placed in the middle by O Zitong, O Ziyun and the others. They knew that Night Sorrow's safety was very important. Before the fight even started, the disciples of the Scarlet Cloud sect had already released the Scarlet Cloud needles at the O clan. The Scarlet Cloud needles were very precious, but the Scarlet Cloud sect was going all out. After this wave, many people were hit by the needles. Soon after, the disciples of the Scarlet Cloud sect began to charge. The O clan members who were attacked could only retreat. Those who were hit by the needles lost their ability to move and couldn't fight. The others could only retreat. Night Sorrow's figure flickered as he passed by the retreating O clan troops and started to obstruct the pursuing Scarlet Cloud sect's disciples. Seeing this scene, Huanan, Huang'an, and Lu Peng rushed to the front and released their bone-rotting needles at the Scarlet Cloud sect disciples. The O clan's disciples who were hit by the Scarlet Cloud needles were seriously injured and couldn't move. However, they could still survive if they were carried by their companions and retreated. However, they would die if they were hit by the bone-rotting needles. The O clan's disciples retreated. The Scarlet Cloud sect's disciples who were attacked by the bone-rotting poison needles also retreated. The bone-rotting needles in the hands of Huanan and the other two were truly deadly. In an instant, a group of people turned into a pool of blood. Night Sorrow followed behind and killed a few more Golden Flame sect disciples before retreating. Dozens of O clan's disciples were injured. However, this poison's main toxicity was paralysis. So, it wouldn't be a big problem for them to recover for a period of time after taking the antidote pill. Great Elder, it's all thanks to the Medicine Valley's arrangements. Otherwise, our O clan would have been wiped out. O Xianxia was a little scared. At this moment, Qi Qianli appeared on the rocky mountain above the shallow beach. Is the Medicine Valley planning to have a poison war? Poison war? Are you saying that only the Scarlet Cloud sect can use their poison needles? Our Medicine Valley can't? The Great Elder snorted coldly. Since you don't have it, of course we have to use it. Now that both sides are using poison needles, isn't it meaningless? Qi Qianli was choked by the Great Elder's words. If the Scarlet Cloud sect uses poison needles again, our Medicine Valley will no longer have any scruples. Let's see who's more ruthless. The Great Elder snorted coldly. The Scarlet Cloud sect's request was very shameless. However, it demonstrated a principle. If I have the advantage, I will use it to defeat you. If you have the ability to resist, then you have the right to negotiate. Today's situation was like this. If the Medicine Valley couldn't take out their poison needles, then the Scarlet Cloud sect would use them to dominate the situation. Now that the Medicine Valley had the poison needles, both sides were back to the same starting line. The Medicine Valley was good at refining pills. However, due to the restrictions of the sect, the disciples of the Medicine Valley only refined pills that were beneficial to cultivators. No one dabbled in poisons. 13 We're lucky that you're here. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to get rid of the threat from the Scarlet Cloud sect, Gong Xian said. This way the battle will become routine. Let's see the strength of both sides, Night Sorrow said. We're still at a disadvantage. The Golden Flame sect has a deep foundation and many disciples. If this continues, we'll be the ones at a disadvantage. The Great Elder shook his head and said, without the threat of the poison needles, they know that their disciples died. They were too aggrieved a few days ago, O Xianxia said. The Great Elder nodded. They were at a disadvantage now. It wasn't a disadvantage in strength, but a disadvantage in foundation. It couldn't be seen in a short time. In addition, the Scarlet Cloud sect was also in a difficult situation. The Southern Dipper sect and the Walkabout sect were not to be trifled with. It was only a matter of time before the Scarlet Cloud sect retreated. Everyone knew that if the Medicine Valley wanted to rise, it was inevitable that they would fight to the death with the Golden Flame sect. This was an inevitable process. The Medicine Valley already had a venerable. Of course, it would develop into a superpower. A mountain couldn't have two tigers. The Golden Flame sect couldn't allow the Medicine Valley to become a superpower. O family's disciples have worked hard this time. The Great Elder cupped his hands toward O xianxia. You're too polite, Great Elder. There are sacrifices when there are wars. Since we've chosen to ally with the Medicine Valley, we'll advance and retreat together. Perhaps the O family can fight for a better future, O xianxia said. Don't worry, Elder O. The Medicine Valley won't go back on our words. We can live and die together. The Great Elder made a promise to O xianxia. O xianxia bowed. He believed in the Medicine Valley's alliance. Now that he had the Great Elder's reassurance, he felt more at ease. In the next few days there were chaotic battles every day. Without the threat of the Scarlet Cloud needles and the bone-rotting poison needles, the battles between the two sides were even more tragic. Every time they wouldn't retreat until they killed everyone. In the past few days, Night Sorrow had killed countless enemies. Every battle had his shadow. Night Sorrow was also smart. Every time he killed an opponent he would change his position. He would never give others a chance to surround him. The Golden Flame sect and the Scarlet Cloud sect hated Night Sorrow to the bone. The Medicine Valley and the O family had many members with higher cultivation than Night Sorrow. However, they weren't as lethal as Night Sorrow. As long as they weren't as strong as Night Sorrow, they would be killed in an instant. It would be difficult to resist. Night Sorrow's strength and profound jade spiritual energy were too strong. Qianli wanted to carry out the dragon-slaying plan on Night Sorrow. However, he didn't dare. The sect master and venerable of the Scarlet Cloud sect had personally ordered that disciples with a cultivation higher than Night Sorrow were not allowed to attack Night Sorrow. Qianli also stopped Qi Tianqing from doing so. The Golden Flame sect and the Scarlet Cloud sect were in an alliance. He didn't want to have any trouble and need the Scarlet Cloud sect to fill the hole. 9x Most L New Chapter Previous 4 Every time Night Sorrow returned from a battle, he would be greeted with a tsunami-like roar. This was a treatment that the other peak Fourth Order disciples of the Medicine Valley and the O family didn't have. Night Sorrow would rush to the front of every battle. He would die with everyone. The other thing was his achievements. During this period of time, too many disciples of the Golden Flame sect and the Scarlet Cloud sect had died under Night Sorrow's hands. Chapter 311. Genius 1 second Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. After the practice of actual combat, Night Sorrow's spear skills and footwork were getting better and better. His combat experience was also increasing. Love Gon Little Say W. Chu in the beginning, every time Night Sorrow went out to fight, the Great Elder and the others would be on tenterhooks and would warn him again and again. Now that Night Sorrow went out to fight, the Great Elder and Xuanhuan would say to kill as many as possible. When Night Sorrow was resting, the disciples of the Medicine Valley and the O family would often drag him to drink. Currently he was the most popular person here. In the largest tent, the Great Elder, Xuanhuan and O xianxia were drinking tea. Elders, Yishang is a rare talent that only appears once every 1,000 years. You must nurture him well. O xianxia had a good impression of Night Sorrow, mainly because Night Sorrow got along well with the O family disciples. Great Elder, I think we should let Night Sorrow go to Danding Peak and train him as the next Valley Master, Xuanhuan said. This little guy won't accept it. He has a strong personality. Don't force him to do something he doesn't like. The Great Elder shook his head. He understood Night Sorrow and knew that Night Sorrow had his own path in his heart. Wouldn't that be a waste of talent? O xianxia frowned. Look at the long term. If Night Sorrow rises to a height that we can't reach, who would dare to provoke us? The Great Elder said with a smile. Love Gon Little Say W. Chu, that's true. Xuanhuan nodded. Do you know why the Scarlet Cloud sect removed the kill order for Night Sorrow? There's a reason for it, the Great Elder said. Xuanhuan and O xianxia both nodded. They were all smart people, so they didn't need to be too blunt. It was enough to get the point across. The Great Elder used this method to tell O xianxia that Night Sorrow's future was limitless. It was right to form an alliance with the Medicine Valley. In the next 2 days, the Golden Flame sect and the Scarlet Cloud sect became more and more miserable. After another battle, Qianli went to Stone Mountain. Medicine Valley. It's hard to tell who will win in such a chaotic battle. How about a one-on-one challenge tomorrow? Do you dare to accept? I don't know who you are, but I've never seen anyone more shameless than you. It was you who used the poison needles first, and it was you who said that you didn't need the needles. Now that the battle has reached this stage, the Golden Flame sect and the Red Cloud sect can't hold on any longer, so you want to change your strategy? The first elder was a little angry. So you don't dare? If we lose, we'll retreat, Xianxia said. It's not up to you to decide whether to retreat or not. What? Can't the Red Cloud sect withstand the pressure from the Southern Dipper sect and the Freedom sect? The first elder sneered. Xianxia's face turned ugly after hearing the first elder's words. The first elder was telling the truth. After he sent a request for reinforcements, the Red Cloud sect replied that they didn't have any extra manpower. They only sent 2 outstanding 4th-ranked disciples. Therefore, Xianxia wanted to use a one-on-one challenge to attack the Medicine Valley. Do you dare to accept? If you don't, we'll have to stake everything on a single attack tomorrow. Xianxia couldn't afford to waste any more time. He wanted to end the battle here as soon as possible. The Red Cloud sect couldn't afford to be in such a situation. After saying that, Xianxia left Stone Mountain. He announced that it was up to the Medicine Valley to decide whether to accept tomorrow's challenge. Then, the first elder and the others returned to the tent to discuss. If the Red Cloud sect and the Golden Flame sect really went all out, the Medicine Valley and the O family would suffer a great loss. Original version 7 SS attack. Could it be that they sent experts? Xianhu asked. That's possible. They can't withstand such a group battle, so this is the only way, xianxia said. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. If it's possible, we'll challenge them one-on-one. If it's not possible, we'll have to go all out. As long as the Red Cloud sect is defeated, it'll be much easier for us to deal with the Golden Flame sect, the first elder decided. The next day, someone from the Golden Flame sect came to the Stone Mountain. It was Xianhu, a peak 4th-ranked disciple. Xianhu of the Golden Flame sect, does anyone from the Medicine Valley want to accept the challenge? If you don't, then scram. Xianhu said arrogantly in a black robe. I, Ziyun, will accept the challenge. Just as Nan was about to accept the challenge, Ziyun of the O family stood up and went to the Stone Mountain with his saber. Then the two began to fight. The people from the Medicine Valley frowned. Ziyun was of the Earth attribute, while Xianhu was of the Wind attribute. The Earth attribute had high attack power and defense, but its attack speed was not as fast as the Wind attribute. After a while, Ziyun was suppressed. After a few rounds, Ziyun was killed by Xianhu. At this time, Nan stood up and walked towards the Stone Mountain. Medicine Valley, Taishan Peak, Nan. Nan stood up and rushed towards Xianhu. Nan was of the Wind attribute just like Xianhu. Now, it all depended on who had more experience and who was stronger. There would not be any attribute suppression between the two. Seeing Nan attack, Xianhu waved his sword and fought with Nan. Both of them fought with speed. Both of them were experts in speed. The Stone Mountain was filled with their shadows. Eldest senior brother, can third senior brother do it? Night Sorrow was worried. Yes. Your third senior brother has the most solid foundation among us. It'll be hard to defeat him without reaching the 5th rank. Gong Xian was very confident in Nan. They had been fellow disciples for half of their lives, so they knew each other very well. After fighting for 15 minutes, the difference between them was obvious. Xianhu was suppressed by Nan. This was a display of combat experience. Xianhu's speed was very fast, but Xuanhuan could accurately determine Xianhu's movement path and would attack in advance. Xianhu was furious. His sword glowed with a golden light, and he attacked Nan. After reaching the 4th rank, one could release their chi externally, but the attack power was not very high. If the opponent was strong, they would not be able to break through the opponent's chi shield. Therefore, both Nan and Xianhu kept their chi inside. They both wanted to kill in one blow. At this time, Nan's fighting style changed. He started to move around instead of fighting Xianhu head-on. He knew that Xianhu was using the Golden Flame sect's ultimate skill, the Golden Light Sword. As soon as Nan changed his tactics, Xianhu started to become aggressive. Seeing Xianhu's movements, Nan snorted. He did not block Xianhu's sword. Instead, he twisted his body and slashed at Xianhu's chest. Xianhu's face changed. Nan's fighting style was a lose-lose. He could hit Nan, but Nan would also hit him. The main point was that Nan's body twisted. Xianhu's attack would not be effective. He would only be able to injure Nan, but he would have to pay with his life. After that, Nan ignored Xianhu's attacks and went straight for a lose-lose battle. His body would often twist, and he would always be able to avoid his vital parts. At most he would be injured and Xianyu would die. This was the dragonfish movement technique he cultivated. With a roar, Xianyu retreated. He was no match for Nan Nan. Nan Nan did not chase after Xianyu. He retreated back to the Medicine Valley. Chapter 312. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with interesting novels to read. Su Wang had never met Night Sorrow before, but he hated Night Sorrow. Su Mu had been defeated by Night Sorrow, and Su Qinbai had died because of Night Sorrow. In addition, Night Sorrow had obtained a great opportunity in the void fiendish space, but he had returned empty-handed. This made him very resentful. Peak of the third stage of the spirit-severing stage. Yang Lei, who was standing beside Night Sorrow, said, "This is an outstanding disciple of the Golden Flame sect." When he was at the third stage, he was the overlord of the third stage of the Golden Flame sect, the Great Elder said. The Great Elder said. The Great Elder knew that the Golden Flame sect had spies in the Medicine Valley. Don't go, Night Sorrow. His cultivation level is higher than yours. This battle is not fair, xianxia said. I want to go. Since he wants to fight with me, I'll give it a try. Night Sorrow held the reincarnation spear and walked toward the stone mountain. -9H only? Version ET, other E, all versions. Night Sorrow was not afraid of a peak third stage of the spirit-severing stage. Night Sorrow did not know that Su Wang had also entered the void fiendish space. He felt that Su Wang was hostile to him, so he wanted to kill him. Night Sorrow did not know about Su Wang, but Su Wang knew about Night Sorrow. He knew that Night Sorrow had entered the void fiendish space before and that his cultivation level was at the third stage. Therefore he was not afraid. Love Gon Little say, Su Wang's cultivation level was at the peak of the third stage of the spirit-severing stage. He did not cultivate much faster than Night Sorrow. After coming out of the void fiendish space, he entered the Golden Flame Hall of the Golden Flame sect. It was a place that could quickly increase one's cultivation level. It had the same effect as Danding Cliff. After cultivating to the third level of the spirit-severing stage, Su Wang used the profound meditation pill to raise his cultivation to the peak of the third level of the spirit-severing stage. Therefore he did not believe that Night Sorrow was stronger than him. If he knew that Lei Jing also lost to Night Sorrow, he would not think so. With the reincarnation spear in hand, Night Sorrow arrived at the stone mountain. You actually dared to come. Hand over your gains from the alternate dimension and I'll spare your life, Su Wang said, brandishing the sword in his hand. Shameless boasting. Who do you think you are? Night Sorrow sneered when he heard Su Wang's words. He didn't expect Su Wang to be so arrogant. So you want to die? Su Wang's eyes were like those of a ferocious beast. Don't talk so much nonsense. You think too highly of yourself. Night Sorrow pointed his reincarnation spear at the ground and said. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Illusionary Wang was enraged. He leaped into the air and slashed his sword at Night Sorrow. Ai go xiao shua 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 w. Ai chuex. Night Sorrow didn't spoil him. He brandished his reincarnation spear and stabbed at Su Wang's sword. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear was filled with white mysterious jade spiritual energy because Su Wang's sword had golden energy. He didn't want to be at a disadvantage. Since even Xuanhuan was afraid of golden sword light, it definitely wasn't simple. Ding. The tip of the spear and the tip of the sword collided. Su Wang retreated because Night Sorrow's vibration sutra had exploded. It wasn't something he could easily block. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear was also dyed with gold. However, as Night Sorrow circulated his true chi, the gold on the reincarnation spear receded. The golden light sword's energy was domineering, but it was far inferior to Night Sorrow's void attribute true chi that was covered by the mysterious jade spiritual energy. After pushing Su Wang back, Night Sorrow stomped his feet and charged forward. His reincarnation spear stabbed at Su Wang again. The following battle left the Golden Flame sect dumbfounded. Su Wang, who had used the golden light sword, was suppressed by Night Sorrow's attacks. He had to retreat a few steps after receiving Night Sorrow's spear. His arms were covered with snow-white frost. His fire attribute was completely suppressed by Night Sorrow. Su Wang couldn't display his speed either because his true chi was almost frozen by Night Sorrow's mysterious jade spiritual energy. Su Wang retreat. Qi Tianqing shouted. He could see that Su Wang wasn't Night Sorrow's opponent. The gap between the two was too big. Su Wang also knew that he wasn't Night Sorrow's opponent. He moved his feet and wanted to retreat in the direction of the Golden Flame sect. Night Sorrow's body flashed and directly appeared in Su Wang's path. He attacked Su Wang and didn't give him a chance to retreat. If you spare my life, I will kill you today. Night Sorrow was filled with anger. He was so angry that he boasted shamelessly to Su Wang. After receiving 3 consecutive attacks from Night Sorrow, the longsword in Su Wang's hand was blasted away. Stop! Qi Tianqing's body flashed as he rushed toward the stone mountain. He didn't dare to let anything happen to Su Wang. Su Wang was Su Huantian's grandson. If he died here, he would have committed a great sin. Get lost! The Great Elder roared and rushed toward the stone mountain. Following the Great Elder's action, Gong Xian, Oshuijia, and Qianwu also moved. They all flew above the stone mountain and blocked Qi Tianqing and the Golden Flame Sect's elders. What? You guys can't win a poison battle, you guys can't win a group battle. Now you guys want to interfere in a one-on-one battle? The Great Elder coldly looked at Qi Tianqing and the Golden Flame Sect's elders. The Scarlet Cloud Sect's people didn't move. Night Sorrow caught up with Su Wang. He waved his spear and pierced through Su Wang's neck. Then he lifted Su Wang and threw him to the ground. Stepping on Su Wang's chest, Night Sorrow placed his reincarnation spear on Su Wang's neck. Let him go. Let's retreat. Qi Tianqing and the others had already landed on the ground. They started to confront the people from the Medicine Valley. My master said that if you want to kill my people, you have to kill them back. Do you think you can fight and stop whenever you want? Night Sorrow coldly said. Medicine Valley's disciples, prepare your poison needles. Gong Xian shouted at the disciples of the Medicine Valley who were ready for battle. Spare my life? What a joke. If you want to kill my people, I will definitely kill them back. Night Sorrow swung his reincarnation spear and chopped off Su Wang's head. You must die. I swear I will kill you. Qi Tianqing pointed at Night Sorrow with a trembling finger. I don't have the chance today. If I have the chance, I will definitely kill you. Night Sorrow bent down and picked up Su Wang's storage ring. Qi Tianqing was so angry that his beard trembled. However, he didn't give the order to fight. He had heard Gong Xian's words. The people of the Medicine Valley were preparing their poison needles. If they fought, it would be a decisive battle. The people of the Scarlet Cloud Sect didn't come with them. Without the help of the Scarlet Cloud Needles, how could the people of the Golden Flame Sect resist the bone-corroding poison needles of the Medicine Valley? Qi Tianqing had no choice but to retreat with the people of the Golden Flame Sect. Time and time again. Time and time again. In the end, you are defeated. Is this the style of the Golden Flame Sect? Night Sorrow looked at Qi Tianqing's back and said with disdain, Junior, you are courting death. Qi Tianqing turned around and roared. Night Sorrow had embarrassed him several times. Now that he heard Night Sorrow's words, he was instantly enraged. Your Golden Flame Sect has always wanted me dead, but I am still alive and well. I just feel that your Golden Flame Sect is too shameless and always wants to suppress others. Don't think too highly of yourself. At the very least, our Medicine Valley doesn't care about this. As long as you dare to come to the Medicine Valley, our Medicine Valley will fight back, Night Sorrow said. Ignorant Junior, how dare you boast so shamelessly? Can you be the master of the Medicine Valley? Qi Tianqing was so angry that he laughed. Chapter 313. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow, this is not only your idea, but also the intention of the Medicine Valley. This is the spirit of the Medicine Valley. If anyone dares to provoke the Medicine Valley, then the Medicine Valley will fight to the end, the first elder said while looking at Night Sorrow. He did not blame Night Sorrow for his recklessness. Instead, he was very pleased. Qi Tianqing snorted and began to retreat with his men. The situation was out of his control. If they fought, the Golden Flame Sect would not be able to withstand the bone-rotting poison needles of the Medicine Valley. Besides, he could see that the Red Cloud Sect had the intention to retreat. On the Red Cloud Sect's side, Qi Qinli knew that the Medicine Valley could not easily defeat the poison needles. The result of a bloody battle would be a loss for both sides, which was not a result he could bear. The Red Cloud Sect will remember this. Qi Qinli threw out a threat to the Medicine Valley. Who are you threatening? We, the Medicine Valley, will wait here. Come if you dare. The hot-tempered Shi Tianlin roared at Qi Qinli. Qi Qinli ignored Shi Tianlin and retreated with his men. He did not want to continue the battle. So what if he won? The Golden Flame Sect's morale had been destroyed. How could they continue the battle? The Red Cloud Sect was too far away. It was difficult for them to come here. They came this time to borrow the strength of the Golden Flame Sect to attack the Medicine Valley. Now that the Golden Flame Sect had retreated, there was no way to continue the battle. Qi Tianqing, give up the area around Nanyang City. Otherwise, we won't be able to collect the corpses, the first elder shouted at Qi Tianqing. Qi Tianqing, who was retreating with his men, trembled. He understood the first elder's meaning. The bone-rotting poison needles were not able to collect the corpses. The people of the Golden Flame sect and the Red Cloud sect had retreated. Once again the Medicine Valley won the battle. Elder O, I'm very sorry to have caused you to lose an elite disciple. The great elder clasped his hands towards Oxuagia. Oziyun's death in battle made everyone feel uncomfortable. It's nothing. This is the fate of cultivators. Night Sorrow killed the genius of the Golden Flame sect. You can consider it as revenge for him, Oxuagia said. Although he said this, he still felt very uncomfortable in his heart. A disciple at the peak of the spirit-severing stage, no matter what force he was in, needed to be valued. Once he entered the 5th stage he would be the backbone. How about this? Let's continue to push forward and take back all of Nanyang City's Tai clan's territory. We can't fight for nothing. The Golden Flame sect had failed to provoke them, so they had to pay the price. They couldn't just fight whenever they wanted to and leave whenever they didn't want to. They had to leave something behind. Love go little say co. After that, Night Sorrow didn't plan to continue fighting. He planned to go to Danding Cliff to improve his cultivation. After the accumulation of actual combat, Night Sorrow's cultivation was extremely stable. After bidding farewell to the great elder Chen Wu Oshuaijia Gongxian, and the others Night Sorrow, Sikong Chuyu and Yang Lei left. Yang Lei also left the matters of Nanyang City to the great elder to arrange. Riding on the flying beast, Night Sorrow and the others returned to the Dragon Spring courtyard. Night Sorrow, why don't you rest for a while before going to Danding Cliff? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said, Okay, I'll rest for 2 days. Night Sorrow nodded. At night, Night Sorrow went to break through to the bone-forging realm of the Myriad Dao treasured tome. During this period of time, Night Sorrow's cultivation didn't fall behind. The Myriad Dao treasured tome had already reached the peak of level 7 of the bone-forging realm. He needed to strengthen the bone marrow of his shoulder and collarbone. The advancement of the Myriad Dao treasured tome was a painful process. Fortunately, Night Sorrow was already used to it. After half a night, Night Sorrow completed the breakthrough and successfully entered level 8 of the bone-forging realm of the Myriad Dao treasured tome. He began to strengthen his neck and collarbone. Baidu search AI go female sign xiao say www.ichuxs.com. After stabilizing his cultivation for half a night, Night Sorrow woke up early to practice his spear arts and movement skills. After having breakfast with Sikong Chuyu and the others, Night Sorrow rode his Tianyu to Danding Cliff. 13 You're here. I heard about your achievements at Nanyang Lake. You are the pride of the Medicine Valley, Elder Su said to Night Sorrow. This is what the disciples of the Medicine Valley should do. Thank you for your hard work, Elder. Night Sorrow took out a jar of wine and 2 wine bowls and poured wine for himself and Elder Su. Okay. Elder Su took the wine bowl and drank it in one gulp. After drinking a jar of wine with Elder Su, Night Sorrow left Tianyu in Elder Su's care and began to cultivate on the cliff. He felt that the Medicine Valley would be stable for a period of time. He could cultivate in peace. In the past, the Medicine Valley had to participate in the resource war between the Golden Flame sect's regional forces. Now that the war was over, how could the Medicine Valley give the Golden Flame sect resources? In the main hall of the Golden Flame sect, Su Huantian's face was cold. Qi Tianqing, is this the result of your manpower support? The disciples of the Medicine Valley are too difficult to deal with. Even the Scarlet Cloud sect can't suppress them. Otherwise the Scarlet Cloud sect wouldn't have ended up like this, Qi Tianqing said with a bow. Venerable One, you can't blame Elder Qi for this. The Medicine Valley produced a powerful poison needle and the Scarlet Cloud sect couldn't control it. The Medicine Valley and the O family are mad dogs. They really want to fight to the death with us, Xuanhuan said. I suggested using the decapitation plan to send out Stage 5 cultivators to kill the outstanding Stage 4 disciples of the Medicine Valley. However, the Scarlet Cloud sect didn't agree, Qi Tianqing said. The Scarlet Cloud sect's order to kill Night Sorrow has been cancelled. It's obvious that they were warned by someone. We can't send out Stage 5 cultivators to deal with him. Xuanhuan, go gather some Stage 4 disciples and hide in the Medicine Valley. If there's a chance, kill Night Sorrow at all costs. Su Huantian wasn't stupid. He had lived for a long time and knew many things. This disciple understands. Xuanhuan bowed. Tell the disciples not to touch the Medicine Valley for the time being. If we don't kill their venerable, we won't be able to win. When Venerable Zhan comes out of seclusion, we will solve the problem of the Medicine Valley. Don't make unnecessary sacrifices. Su Huantian took a deep breath and said. He felt very humiliated to make such a decision. A superpower that had existed for countless years actually couldn't suppress a subordinate power. What kind of humiliation was this? Venerable One, are we just going to let them have the Nanyang City District? Tiani asked. Make way. Xuanhuan spat out. B** update I. Shinsui and fast up $P, then the resource war between the subordinate powers is meaningless. Tiani also felt aggrieved. Cancel the resource battle. Also, dig out from the mouths of the Empyrean Terminus Tower staff members at all costs. Find out what Night Sorrow's position is in the Empyrean Terminus Tower. Xuanhuan said. He knew that in the Eastern Profound Domain, only the Tianjin Tower could make the Scarlet Cloud sect cancel the order to kill. Other superpowers couldn't make the Scarlet Cloud sect bow their heads. Venerable One, the Scarlet Cloud sect is being attacked by the Southern Dipper sect and the Walkabout sect. Should we fight? Tiani asked again. Fight. This time you will personally lead the team. You must control the situation and make the Scarlet Cloud sect feel that the Golden Flame sect is a good ally. Also, don't lose too many disciples. Only with strength can we stand firm. The Eastern Profound Domain is going to be chaotic. Xuanhuan said. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, Shui once again came to Danding City. Chapter 314. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Enforcer Dong went to the Longquan courtyard to inform Night Sorrow and saw Sikong Chuyu in the courtyard. Enforcer Dong was surprised to see Sikong Chuyu and hurriedly bowed to greet her. Miss, you are here? I've always been here. Have a seat. Don't be nervous. My safety is not a problem. Sikong Chuyu had already detected Enforcer Dong's arrival, but she didn't hide. The current situation could be said to be under Sikong Chuyu's control. She had already reached the 5th rank, so she could go anywhere in the world. If the Sikong clan and Jiyu clan came to find her, she could go to the ends of the world with Night Sorrow. With Night Sorrow's position in Tianji Tower, the Jiyu clan and Sikong clan couldn't touch the Medicine Valley. It's good that Mrs. Safety is not a problem. Where is Night Sorrow? Someone is looking for him. Enforcer Dong asked. He went back to the Medicine Valley. I'll inform him later. Sikong Chuyu said. It's indeed urgent. It's the order of the higher-ups. Enforcer Dong said. If it was someone else, Enforcer Dong wouldn't reveal it, because Sikong Chuyu was a miss he recognized. In addition, Sikong Chuyu was also a member of Tianji Tower. Sikong Chuyu nodded and looked at Yang Lei, who was walking over. She told Enforcer Dong that she wanted to see Night Sorrow in Tianji Tower. Okay. Chuyu, you receive Enforcer Dong. I'll inform Night Sorrow. Yang Lei rode the Blue Eagle and left. Is there any news from the clan? Sikong Chuyu looked at Enforcer Dong and asked. No. Since they searched around and determined that Miss was not in the Eastern Shen domain, there was no news. Is Miss used to living here? I'll buy another courtyard. Enforcer Dong said. He had a good impression of Night Sorrow and knew that Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu were very close, but he couldn't watch his Miss live under someone else's roof. Your Miss and my junior brother are family. This is her home. Aoi walked over and said. Miss, is this true? Enforcer Dong was stunned. Yes, Yishang is much stronger than those hedonistic young masters of the Qingtian domain, so I decided to be with him. Sikong Chuyu was a bit embarrassed. Sure. Then this subordinate congratulates young Miss, and also congratulates young master. Enforcer Dong bowed to Sikong Chuyu. It's good that you know. Don't come here to look for me in the future. It's better to avoid trouble if you can. Love Gong little say Qiu, Sikong Chuyu said to Enforcer Dong. Okay. If Miss has any instructions, please send someone to inform me. I'll take my leave. Enforcer Dong bowed. Sikong Chuyu nodded and didn't say anything. Enforcer Dong cupped his hands to Aoi and left. He was shocked by today's events, but he also knew that Sikong Chuyu was safe here. The Sikong clan and Jiyu clan wouldn't come here again. Night Sorrow stabilized his cultivation in the 8th level of the bone-forging realm of the Myriad Dao scripture. He also raised his true chi cultivation to the peak of the 2nd level of the spirit-severing stage. He broke through without any hesitation. When Yang Lei arrived, Night Sorrow had completed his breakthrough and entered the 3rd level of the spirit-severing stage. He didn't have a tranquil mystic pill, and he didn't know if the Merit Hall of the Medicine Valley had it. Level 4 pills were very scarce in the Medicine Valley. Riding the green condor, Yang Lei interrupted Night Sorrow's cultivation and told Night Sorrow that Enforcer Dong was looking for him. Night Sorrow couldn't delay such a matter. He rode Yang Lei's green condor to the foot of Pill Tripod Cliff. He greeted Elder Su and called for Chanyu to rest before leaving. Ninth Senior Sister, I'll go see if the Merit Hall has a tranquil mystic pill and a tranquil mystic pill, Night Sorrow said to Yang Lei after leaving Pill Tripod Cliff. Yang Lei nodded. Let's go and take a look, but the hope is not very high. These two resources have to be reserved in advance before you can receive them. Just as Yang Lei estimated, the Merit Hall didn't have these two kinds of pills in stock at the moment. The resources would only be available in a month at the earliest. This made Night Sorrow feel very helpless. The possibility of him quickly reaching the peak of the third level of the spirit severing stage was gone. Don't worry. This is the truth. High-level pills are scarce. Your 11th senior brother just received a tranquil mystic pill some time ago. Your cultivation will soon catch up with him. Be content. Yang Lei said. Emo Chen was now at the peak of the third level of the spirit severing stage. This was because he had accumulated a lot in the early stage. Otherwise it wouldn't be so fast. Night Sorrow's cultivation was fast mainly because he could keep up with the resources. In the cultivation world, the disciples of big families and big forces had a bright future and cultivated fast because they had the support of abundant resources. Night Sorrow nodded. It was best to have the tranquil mystic pill. Even if he didn't have it, he could still cultivate. He still had some ingredients. If he couldn't make it, he could make it himself. After leaving Danding Peak, Yang Lei kept the green eagle. She flashed to Tianyu's back and sat in Night Sorrow's embrace. Head, F***CK. Since their relationship had been made clear, Yang Lei didn't try to avoid suspicion. She liked him. This was Yang Lei's personality. Hugging Yang Lei's delicate body and feeling the aura on Yang Lei's body, Night Sorrow had a reaction. Be honest. If you don't have something between you and Chuyu, don't expect to get what you want from me. Yang Lei said with a red face. We're already together. Night Sorrow turned his head to the side because it was quite embarrassing. You two are together? How come I didn't know? Wait until I get back and ask Chuyu. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Yang Lei became spirited. This was no small matter to her. Don't ask. It's so embarrassing. Night Sorrow hurriedly said. He wanted to dispel Yang Lei's thoughts. Otherwise, it would be embarrassing if the Sikong Chuyu knew that he told Yang Lei about this. Alright. Chuyu has indeed changed. She's more feminine and less immature. 13, you're very capable. Wait until I get back and confirm it. Before that, you better be honest. Yang Lei once again leaned into Night Sorrow's embrace. Tianyu's speed was so fast that he had far surpassed the Green Eagle. After 3 hours, Night Sorrow and Tianyu had arrived at Danding City's City Lord's mansion. After entering the mansion and drinking a cup of tea, Night Sorrow walked towards the Tianji Tower opposite the mansion. Night Sorrow couldn't guess why Tianji Tower was looking for him. After all, he didn't know much about Tianji Tower. Under the guidance of Enforcer Dong, Night Sorrow arrived at a private room on the top floor of Tianji Tower. He saw Xuanhuan meditating with her eyes closed. Chief Enforcer. After entering the room, Night Sorrow bowed to Xuanhuan. Third level of spirit severing stage. Your cultivation has increased very quickly. The most important thing is that your Jin Qi is very condensed and solid. Xuanhuan poured herself a cup of tea and pushed the teapot in front of Night Sorrow. Chief Enforcer, you're too kind. Chief Enforcer must have a reason to look for Night Sorrow. If there's anything you need Night Sorrow to do, please let me know. Night Sorrow cupped his hands and said. Chapter 315. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by Xiao? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow nodded and sat opposite Xuanhuan. Baidu search AI go female sign Xiao say www.ichuxs.com. I was born in the North Sea region. When I was young, I joined Tianji Tower because of my outstanding performance. In order to broaden my horizons, I wandered outside all year round. Because I wasn't in my hometown, the sect I belonged to was destroyed by demonic beasts. After I took my revenge, I didn't want to stay in that sad place, so I left the North Sea region. After many years of wandering, I met many outstanding young people, but you are my favorite, Xuanhuan said emotionally as she looked at Night Sorrow. Thank you for thinking so highly of me, Chief Guardian. Night Sorrow could understand Xuanhuan's state of mind. When she was talking about her hometown, Xuanhuan's body was full of sadness. These are the cultivation resources for your rank 4 cultivation, 3 tranquility pills and 5 bottles of tranquility pills. You have to reach rank 5 as soon as possible. Xuanhuan handed a few bottles of pills to Night Sorrow. Thank you, Chief Guardian. Night Sorrow put away the bottles of pills. The Celestial Terminus Tower provides 3 tranquil profound pills, but try to eat as little as possible. 2 pills should be enough. You need to increase your cultivation quickly, but you can't let your foundation be unstable. Yin Shui reminded Yi Chang. In the past, I used to eat 2 pills to increase my cultivation by 1 rank for every rank. I wouldn't be rash, Night Sorrow said. Then I'm relieved. There are no outsiders here. I'll tell you something else. Tianji Tower has a celestial assessment above the Black Abyss. If the people involved don't know about it, they won't tell them. Today I'll tell you about it, Yin Shui said as she looked at Night Sorrow. Is this appropriate? Chief Guardian, please don't make things difficult for me. Night Sorrow was startled because he knew that this was Tianji Tower's secret. The participants of the Heaven's Fate examination aren't notified, but the various major powers in the other regions are still aware of the existence of the Heaven's Fate examination. This is one of the drawbacks of your small background. However, after entering the 4-star level, you have the right to know. Yin Shui smiled and said. He really liked Night Sorrow's considerate attitude. I have 4 stars? Night Sorrow asked. You've passed the 3-star test, and the Eastern Xian region's Tianji Tower has also applied for a 4-star test for you, so it shouldn't be a problem. Supervisor Lan Yuxuan came because of your matter, and she has a very high evaluation of you. In addition, the Pavilion Master has also made some arrangements for you. After passing the 4-star test, your position in the Tianjin Tower will only be higher than this seat's, and not lower than this seat's. You're not yet 18 this year, so as long as you enter the 5th step before the age of 25, you'll definitely pass the Tianji test. 7 years, this seat feels that for you this time is too long, Yin Shui said with a smile. Then I have to thank Chief Protector for your support. Night Sorrow stood up and cupped his hands towards Yin Shui. Sit down, let's sit down and talk. 7 years, no one in the upper echelon of the Eastern Xian region thinks that you'll need that long. Elder Ho thinks that 4 years is enough for you, and the Pavilion Master thinks that you won't need 3 years. This seat feels that 3 years is more than enough, Yin Shui said. I'll work hard. Chief Protector, do you want a drink? Night Sorrow asked. He was somewhat happy and wanted to drink to celebrate. Come on. Do you still need to ask? Yin Shui said with a smile. Night Sorrow took out 2 jars of green leopard bone wine and pushed one in front of Yin Shui. Chief Protector, come on. Drink as much as you can today. I have some here. Boy, this seat likes your boldness. Come on. Yin Shui opened the wine jar and directly drank 2 big mouthfuls. Night Sorrow took out some barbecued meat and drank 2 mouthfuls. This wine tastes so good, but it's too strong. It's really a waste that the winemaker doesn't open a pub, Yin Shui said. This wine was made by my 6th senior sister. I've been drinking it recently, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Good. Come on, let's continue. Yin Shui was in high spirits. She liked wine, but she liked Night Sorrow even more. Night Sorrow and Yin Shui drank 2 jars each before they finished. The conflict between the Golden Flame sect and the Medicine Valley is nothing. Tianjin Tower doesn't care about it. If the Venerable of the Golden Flame sect takes action, Tianjin Tower will help. You can rest assured about this. You're a member of Tianjin Tower. Tianjin Tower will give you a stable backing. Go back. Yin Shui leaned on the chair and waved at Night Sorrow. Yi Shang bowed to Yin Shui and left. He was very touched by Heaven's Extreme Tower's care for him. Walking out of Tianjin Tower leisurely, Night Sorrow stood at the entrance of Tianjin Tower. He could still remember the scene when he was ambushed by the Golden Flame sect's Level 3 Spirit Division disciples. That scene was still vivid in his mind. However, Night Sorrow could no longer assassinate a Level 3 Spirit Division disciple. This was the improvement of his strength. The green leopard bone wine was very strong. After drinking 2 jars of Night Sorrow, he felt a little dizzy. Night Sorrow slowly returned to the City Lord Mansion. He saw Yang Lei waiting for him. What's wrong with you? Who did you drink with? Why did you drink so much? Yang Lei frowned and helped Night Sorrow to a seat. I drank with the people of Tianjin Tower. I did drink a little too much, but I'm very happy, Night Sorrow said with a smile. I really don't know what to say to you. In the future, if you want a drink, you can drink at Longquan Courtyard. It's not safe outside, Yang Lei said with some complaints. She was afraid that Night Sorrow would be ambushed. Most equals at in section CO of new chapter. Night Sorrow nodded to Yang Lei. He did drink a little too much, but it was not serious. Yang Lei supported Night Sorrow and sat on her Qin Condor back to Longquan Courtyard. What's wrong? Sikong Chuyu asked when he saw Night Sorrow's red face. He drank with the people of Tianjin Tower. I don't know who it was, but he could drink so much that 13 became dizzy. Yang Lei knew Night Sorrow's alcohol tolerance. After resting for a night, Night Sorrow woke up and went to the hall. He found Sikong Chuyu and Yang Lei there. How was it? Yang Lei poured a glass of water for Night Sorrow and asked. It's okay. I drank a little too fast yesterday. That senior is also impatient. He held a wine jar and drank with me. Knight Sorrow said as he rubbed his forehead. You can't do that in the future. Xianxia said as he brought a towel over. Knight Sorrow took the towel and smiled apologetically. I was really happy yesterday. That senior is also a forthright person, so I drank a little too much. What's so happy about? Tell me. Yang Lei sat beside Knight Sorrow and asked with a smile. He gave me the cultivation resources for the 4th rank and also told me about the heavenly rank examination. He estimated that I can pass the 4-star examination. He said that if I reach the 5th rank in 7 years, I can pass the heavenly rank examination. Therefore he didn't hide these things from me. Knight Sorrow said while wiping his face. Pass the 4-star examination? That's amazing. In other words, you will be at least an elder in Tianji Tower in the future. Aren't they looking down on you by reaching the void inquiry stage in 7 years? Xianxia said with a smile. Indeed. They are looking down on our 13. Yang Lei hugged Knight Sorrow's shoulder and said. Chapter 316. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? This is a wonderful novel for you to read. Also he told me to be at ease. He said that the conflict between the Golden Flame sect and Medicine Valley is not a big deal. If the Golden Flame sect sends out a venerable, then Tianjin Tower will deal with it, Knight Sorrow said. This was the reason why Knight Sorrow was so happy. That's really good news. Yang Lei slapped the armrest of the chair heavily. Ninth senior sister, it's enough for us to keep these things to ourselves. There's no need to tell anyone else. If the Extreme Heaven Tower finds out, they'll have a bad impression of Yishang. Xianxia said to Yang Lei. Yes, I know. I won't cause trouble for your family. Or rather, it should be our family's man. Yang Lei said with a smile. The 3 of them chatted until they reached the martial arts field in the courtyard and watched Aoi instruct the 3rd-generation disciples. Your 13th uncle is a newcomer and so are you. Why is there such a big gap between you two? Always Rattan landed on Shinrong's butt. Shinrong felt aggrieved. Who could compare to Knight Sorrow? 6th senior sister, come and have a cup of tea. Yang Lei waved to Aoi. Knowing about Knight Sorrow's situation, Yang Lei was also in a good mood. Aoi glared at Shinrong and Jiang Ziming, then walked over to Knight Sorrow's side. 6th senior sister, help me take a look at this pill. Knight Sorrow took out the pill that Yin Shui gave him and opened it. Aoi took the pill bottle and poured out the pill. She took a look and sniffed it. Supreme Grade Tranquility Pill. Needless to say, it's another product of Tianjin Tower. Yes. 6th senior sister, what's your cultivation level? Do you need a tranquility pill? I have an extra one here, Knight Sorrow said to Aoi. She can't use it anymore. Your 6th senior sister is in trouble. In the past, if you weren't a Heaven's Fate or King's Disciple, you wouldn't have the Tranquil Profound Pill to use. Now that you're qualified to receive the Tranquil Profound Pill, you can use it. However, your cultivation base has reached the middle stage of the 7th level of the Spirit Severing stage. Aoi shook her head and said. Then I'll give it to 11th senior brother, Knight Sorrow said and put the pill away. You can use the Tranquil Pill to raise your cultivation to the peak of level 3 Spirit Severing stage. Aoi looked at Knight Sorrow and said. I won't be going to Danding Cliff. I'll just cultivate here. After pondering for a moment, Knight Sorrow made his decision. After dinner, Knight Sorrow, Yang Lei, and Xianxia went for a walk in the garden. The night breeze in Longquan Courtyard was especially refreshing. After strolling for a while, Xianxia said, Ninth senior sister, Knight Sorrow, I'm going to rest. You guys should rest early too. Chiyu, let's rest together? Yang Lei said with a smile. Love goes Xiao say Chu, no, you two can rest tonight. Xianxia smiled and left. Chiyu has also become bad. Yang Lei looked at Xianxia's back and said. Although she said this, she was grateful. She knew that Xianxia had given her a chance. Knight Sorrow sent Yang Lei to the front of the attic. Yang Lei turned around and said, Knight Sorrow, you should go and accompany Chuyu. She's generous and I'm generous. This way we can be harmonious in the future. Knight Sorrow smiled and hugged Yang Lei before leaving. After leaving Yang Lei's attic, Knight Sorrow did not go to Xianxia's residence. Instead, he returned to the main building to eat the Tranquil Profound Pill and began to cultivate. Since there was nothing to do, Knight Sorrow planned to raise his cultivation to the peak of the 3rd level of the Spirit Severing stage and then cultivate in the Longquan Courtyard to consolidate his cultivation. After dawn, Yang Lei went to the main building first and brewed a pot of tea while waiting for Xianxia and Knight Sorrow. However, in the end, Xianxia came alone. Baidu search AI go female sign xiao say www.ichuxs.com. Ninth senior sister, where's Night Sorrow? Sikong Chuyu asked after sitting down. Qnu V8 Chapter O Section GC on F4/. He's not with you? This bastard, he failed to live up to the beauty's grace. Last night I told him to go find you, but this guy actually came back to cultivate. After a little investigation, Yang Lei found that Night Sorrow was cultivating on the second floor. Night Sorrow cultivated for 3 days and finished absorbing the medicinal strength of the tranquil profound pill. His cultivation also reached the peak of the 3rd level of the spirit severing stage. After stretching his waist, Night Sorrow walked out of the room in a very good state. In the martial arts field, Night Sorrow saw Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu who were cultivating. The two of them had similar cultivation, so they were cultivating combat experience. Seeing Night Sorrow arrive, the two women stopped cultivating. This time it was Night Sorrow who made tea. 13 You're too much of a bastard. I told you to accompany Chuyu, but you actually went to cultivate. After sitting down, Yang Lei scolded Night Sorrow. That's right, didn't I tell you to accompany ninth senior sister? You bastard. Sikong Chuyu also stared at Night Sorrow. We'll be together for a long time. I'll raise my cultivation first and then consolidate it every day. It just so happens that I'll accompany you. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then tell me, is Chuyu more important or is cultivation more important? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Both are very important. Without any hesitation, Night Sorrow opened his mouth and said. Night Sorrow's answer made Sikong Chuyu and Yang Lei stunned. They didn't expect such an answer. It was a little hurtful. As long as one was a little smart, they wouldn't answer like that. Why are you looking at me like that? Night Sorrow looked at the two women and asked. Is cultivation so important to you? 13 We misjudged you. Yang Lei was a little angry. It is very important. If I don't cultivate, I won't have cultivation. If I don't have cultivation, I won't be able to go to the Qingtian region and the Sikong clan to propose marriage. If I don't have cultivation, I won't be able to protect you if a powerful enemy appears. Night Sorrow didn't understand why Yang Lei was angry. Cultivation was indeed very important to him. So that's how it is. I'm not angry with you. Sikong Chuyu said with tears in her eyes. When she first heard Night Sorrow say that cultivation was as important as her, she felt very sad and disappointed. However, after hearing Night Sorrow's explanation, her sadness and disappointment disappeared. What was left was touched. Night Sorrow did it for her and Yang Lei to cultivate. Take it slow. Cultivation isn't something that can be improved in a day. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said. Her eyes were full of heartache. In the past 2 years, Night Sorrow hadn't been idle. As long as he had time, he would cultivate. He had suffered a lot. Did the sect successfully take over the territory near Nanyang City? Night Sorrow asked after taking a sip of tea. Yes, the Golden Flame sect has indeed stopped. The territory that originally belonged to the Tai clan of Nanyang City has been given up. The main reason is that they don't have the energy to fight with us. They want to help the Scarlet Cloud sect. The Scarlet Cloud sect has been beaten up badly by the Southern Dipper sect and the Free and Unfettered sect. The Golden Flame sect is an ally, so they can't help. Yang Lei said. The situation is still very chaotic. Night Sorrow sighed. Right now the Eastern Shen region is indeed a mess. The Holy Light sect and the Thunder Rumbling sect are fighting very fiercely. The Holy Light sect wants to teach the Thunder Rumbling sect a lesson. The Thunder Rumbling sect is very belligerent. Even if there is only one person left, they won't be convinced. Yang Lei said.